Steeming Pile. Steeming Pile. Steeming Pile. Steeming Pile. Steeming Pile. Steeming Pile. See you next Tuesday on Steeming Pile. Steeming Pile.
All right. Welcome to the Steeming Pile, version 2.2 or 22. This is the John Spalding version, or for those of you guys who are watching. But everyone's here. You just can't see them on my end yet.
Yeah, we've got a whole host of people for sure. So everybody, welcome, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. We've got, yeah, I mean they're starting to come on, so that's excellent.
Yep.
And good stuff to talk about today.
Real good stuff. We're going to be using breakout groups. And as you guys know or have seen, we're talking smart media tokens on the STEEM blockchain today. And so I think without further ado, let's just get right into it. I'm going to go ahead on mine. I have everybody up. You can see all of us. I'm John Spalding. We have Gone Rogue in here, another simulcaster, Patrick Ulrich, and Sean S. Porter, and Eric Wilson. All of us are part of the Steeming Pile, and we are all simulcasting on our own DLive channels right now. We have Andrarchy in here, Andrew Levine from Steemit Inc. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks a lot for putting this on. It's so great to see everybody coming together doing this. I've been on the platform for 2 years, and it's really nice to see that it's evolved to this place where you guys can be simulcasting on different channels on a Steam-based live streaming application. It's like really surreal, actually.
That's cool.
That's
I'm
wicked.
happy to be
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. So anyone else? You guys want to say hi or?
Yeah, no, dude, I obviously have to give a shout out to your swag there. It'd be nice to have a Steemit shirt for sure. But yeah, shout out to your Steemit shirt, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
You just shouted out to someone's shirt. I thought you were talking about my backdrop, my G1 NBC TV backdrop. I'm like,
Nonsense.
there's only one like it, and this one is mine. So, Eric, Sean, Patrick.
Hi.
You guys want to say hey?
Put me on the spot. I'm a little starstruck here, man.
Well, we'll get right into it.
Hi, I'm Sean. Thanks everyone for coming and joining the pile. We're working hard at this, trying to, put that content out there, and we love talking to people and others involved and do that networking. It's all about networking.
Same here.
That's
I'm Patrick.
actually a great point. It is all about networking.
Yeah.
Sorry, Patrick.
No problem at all. I'm Patrick. Same here. Just real excited for the discussion tonight on some smart media tokens.
Cool.
As you can see right there, I'm Eric Wilson. Been a big part of DLive. It's been a big part of my routine since late December. And it's really cool. I love helping promote talk shows on here, and because that's what I want to see. So be the change, help promote and upvote and support shows that you believe in and that you want to see more of.
Cool. And we have Abdul on here from DLike. Thanks for joining us. How are you?
I'm fine, doing fine, and hope all of us do fine.
Cool. And thank you for being on here. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And so let's see. I think we have someone else in here, but I'm not sure. Infinite.
Yes.
I see ESP change. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for being on. And I see Infinix Hot 5. Are you able to say hi?
They're flocking.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
How are you tonight?
My name is Andrew Levine. I'm fine.
Are you from Oracle D?
No, I'm from Air Clinic.
Air Clinic.
Oh, from Air Clinic. Cool.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Right on. All right.
All right. So let's go ahead and get rolling. And the someone from Oracle D is also supposed to be coming in. But let's go ahead and get started while we have Andrew here for a little bit. Wanted to just kind of kick it off. And Andrew, I know you saw the agenda for tonight. I think what I thought we would have you do is just, if you were talking about smart media tokens, which I'm sure you have, to someone who has never heard of them before. But let's. Oh. All right, who is muted? You guys got to make sure that you're unmuting and muting if you're going to be sweeping your floors. But if you were talking to someone, I would say, let's say they're in Steemit, or maybe they join via DLive or DLike, and they're not familiar with the STEEM blockchain, and they hear smart media tokens, and you just happen to run into them, and they say, well, what are these smart media tokens? I don't know anything about them. Can you explain them to me? What would you say in like 2 minutes or a minute?
Sure. Well, it definitely depends on every type of person that I'm talking to. I actually think that the most efficient way of communicating what they are on a actually surprisingly deep level is that they're customer loyalty points on steroids. And if you just dive into that sentence, you actually get to kind of the core value proposition of what they offer. Now, I can say it in all kinds of complicated ways. You know, you can make it like I do believe that at SMTs, like, I mean, really what they're designed to do is tokenize online communities, but like that's a very abstract concept. It requires way too much work. Customer loyalty points on steroids. Oh, and there's Matt from Oracle D. Matt.
Cool. Hey, Matt.
But like, yeah. So you know, these like, I've been in this racket for a long time. I've tried pitching blockchains and Steem specifically in all kinds of ways, and I find that explanations like these are actually like, people are like, oh well, I've heard of customer loyalty points, but why would I want to do that on a blockchain? You know, you actually want to trigger kind of the right types of questions. And the thing is that you know, these are tokens that, one of the ways I've been explaining the core value proposition to people who do have more of a understanding of blockchains and tokens in general, is that effectively their core value proposition is that they will use influence. They will use influence within a community to create a base, a foundational value to the token. Right, that's what they do. I mean, to people who have any kind of vague familiarity with Steem and the Steem blockchain, the way I explain it is totally different. I say it enables you to launch your own Steem-like token. Because if you have any understanding of a Steem app, like if you've used DLive and you know it uses Steem, and you understand that it's a token that's distributed by crowdsourced stake-weighted upvote, and you like the applications that you know exist, then you can understand the value of being able to launch your own and then specify things like token supply, inflation rate, and things like that. So it really depends on the person, but you know, customer loyalty points should not be underestimated. They're like hundreds of billions of dollar business. And the only reason they're not worth more, I would say, is because customer loyalty points are clunky. And that's where the steroids aspect comes into play, where these aren't really customer loyalty points. These are autonomous, decentralized points that weaponize community members to autonomously distribute the currency. They decentralize a central bank among a community. They give every community the ability to distribute a central bank amongst themselves. So does that answer the question?
It does.
Or we could,
is
that unsatisfying?
It's a great way to kick it off. And so I would say, from the Simulcasters, what are you seeing in your chat room, or what questions did that bring up to you, so that we can make the best use of time and get in as many questions as we can from folks.
Yeah.
So are there any out there from you guys?
I would just say, like, the very first thing is, what are you most excited about? What do you like? How do you see it working out to where, out of everything, the possibilities are literally endless? But what do you see being the most exciting thing, other than just the release of them?
That's a great question, man. I mean, the eye has been on the prize for so long that it's hard to think past the release. Well, I have two answers for that. Oh, did Sean have another related question? No.
He might be talking to his.
I was
audience.
waving. I'm sorry.
No worries. Well, one of the things I'm really excited about is, and this isn't, I don't think, a good answer, but I'm really excited. This is really crowdsourcing technology. And so I'm really looking forward to the next generation of crowdsourcing, of applications that leverage crowdsourcing, the level of crowdsourcing that's enabled by these stuff. So for example, you could already build an Uber on Steam. The problem is that you just can't raise the kind of capital you want to raise if you're going to create a competitor to a company like Uber. But you could totally hack something together that accomplishes that. I think that once smart media tokens launch, the problems that they solve that needed to be solved on the Steem blockchain, basically some economic problems for the developers. They want, with respect to monetization, revenue generation, capital raising, things like that. I think that once
KG Squirrel upvote
solved, we're going to see an explosion of applications, and some of those are going to be really next level. Now, I think that gets at the heart of what I'm really most excited about, which is just the experimentation. Because I think the mistaken belief people have is that our goal with SMTs is to guarantee that everyone that's launched is a success. And the reality is that there's only so much we can do at the protocol level. We're designing the SMT protocol to integrate all of the knowledge that we've acquired over the last 2 to 3 years, improving the Steem blockchain, improving the Steem token economy. And we're leveraging that knowledge to set developers up for success with respect to a token that can power a real application with real users. But that being said, launching a successful application has a lot more to do, has to do with a lot more than just the protocol that you build it on. It takes marketing, it takes entrepreneurism. Our goal is to minimize the barriers to entry, to give you a blockchain protocol, to give you a token protocol with smart media tokens protocol, so that you don't have to be a blockchain developer, so that you don't have to know anything about crypto economics. But it's still going to be on the entrepreneurs and the developers to build something that people love using. They have to love using the application. And what SMTs do, and I think you all can see this operating on Steem, is that this crowdsourced stake-weighted distribution mechanism is incredibly good at stimulating engagement. It's a very effective point system because it decentralizes the valuation of subjective creation, of creative output. And so if you stay and you like the app, you use it more because the people who use it reward the other people that they think are adding value. And if you're not adding value, and if they don't think they're adding value, you leave. And so all that's left is the core group of people who appreciate the work that's being done. And that's the nugget on which the rest of the ecosystem builds. And yes, people leave all the time. The question is the net growth. And these tokens are incredibly good at tokenizing an application. And I think with Steemit.com, the advantage we had was that we were the first to integrate this mechanism. I'm not going to sit here and tell anyone that Steemit.com is the greatest app on the face of the earth. But it was great, and it is great in that it is still the largest application that is tokenized, that is fully tokenized, that where the tokens are just autonomously distributed by the users. And so, that's the The reason why we may be focusing a little less on Steemit.com now and a lot more on smart media tokens is because we want to focus on enabling everyone else to do what we did with Steemit for their application. And we can worry about Steemit later.
I like that. Any other?
I'm on, yeah, am I back on? My hair? All right, yeah. So yeah, I love what you just said because yeah, the way that I see SMTs is a way to spider off of the main platform, right? The main protocol, and then allow developers to do exactly what you said. And that's hope for like returning engagement. In order to do that, you need to incentivize human interaction. And then it allows like developers to, you know, actually build an architecture where they can focus on this, you know, this thing we call crypto economics in human behaviors and interactions and incentivizing those. So I think it's phenomenal, man, because you're putting, like you said, you're putting that tool into the hands of everybody else, and let's see what happens. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I swear.
Yeah, and everybody will be able to learn from what everybody else is doing. And that's a really important element of how we look at all of the solutions that we build. And let me just be clear, I think it's a really important and kind of powerful point to point out that if you just create 1 million SMT tokens and deposit them into your account, you've still got a token you can transfer anywhere in the world in 3 seconds without any fees. So you're already, and you can design a bot that distributes the tokens from that account based on whatever algorithm you want. So you've already got a token that's 10 times better than anything you can launch on Ethereum. But, you know, but the real power is, we think, is going to get unlocked when you leverage those, the proof of brain elements, the crowdsourced stake weighted distributions. All right, I got to run, but if you guys have one more question, maybe I could answer if I haven't gotten to everything.
Who wants to call the last question?
Lessons learned from Steemit. And I understand that you're a big picture guy when we're talking about crypto economics, and he mentioned, you know, incentivizing individuals, you know, and stake weighted. Lessons learned from Steemit that you could share with us, small or large, detailed or not. And I understand you're talking about plugging a crypto economic system into an application. So it would have to do with what are the needed features, what's the functionality of the application, you know, what is the user trying to do and get from such a system. So anything you've seen from Steemit that's given you some new ideas or new directions?
This might not be the exact answer you're looking for, but I think the important we learned, man, I mean, I've learned so much from working in this company. I mean, it's really changed the way I look at everything, seeing from the inside how you develop an economy. And I think the most important thing that I've learned in the context of this conversation with respect to SMTs, especially because I want to leave you guys with the most valuable piece of information I can pull out of my brain, is that rule number one of dealing with Steem and building applications on Steem is take however you think about money, however you think about businesses, however you think about economics, and flip it. Just think, like, if you're thinking like normal, try just flipping it, because usually that's where the real value lies. Now, let me explain, give an example of what I mean by that. You know, typically in the traditional internet economy, you take you take a series of open source protocols, you use it to power a front end user interface, and then the user interface becomes your cash cow. It becomes your business. You want to maintain total control over it, and that's how you're going to monetize. If you're launching an SMT, that's not the way to think about your user interface. The way to think about the user interface that you build for your SMT is that it's an advertisement for the capabilities of the crypto economic system you're bootstrapping. And Steemit.com is a good example for this, right? Because what are we trying to show with Steemit.com? We're trying to show off what Steem can do. Say you're launching, I'm trying to pick a non-offensive application, right? Okay, ride sharing, right? I'll go with my other one because I don't want to do live streaming or video sharing or anything like that. You know, you want to launch car sharing coin, right? So you build a user interface that shows off that enables riders and drivers to coordinate. And then you launch this token and you design it so as to, power this network. And for example, you just create 0.5% inflation for that drivers and customers can reward each other through upvotes based on like, hey, you were a good driver, hey, you were a bad driver, right? So that's just to get people engaged. But then what you're doing is you're saying car sharing coin has 0.01% fees and it moves in 3 seconds and no one controls it, right? There's no Uber here to get mad at, and the more value you contribute, the more people like riding with you or being driven by you or driving you, the more of these tokens you earn, the more shares you effectively get in this protocol. But so you've got this interface, but what you really want is everybody creating interfaces for your coin. And so what you're really trying to do is bootstrap a dedicated crypto economy, and your user interface demonstrates to other users and other developers what they can get by building something on top of this token. So for example, every SMT will include the beneficiaries feature that Steem has. So say you get a million, right? Because the hardest part of building any application is actually user acquisition. So by leveraging your early access and early knowledge about a very effective customer loyalty point system, you can bootstrap a user base that is familiar, that is onboarded into Steem, that is familiar with blockchains, that is ready. And then what you can do is you can say, look, if you want
KG
to build your
Squirrel
own
upvote.
ride-sharing app,
Sabine9 upvote.
If you want to build your own ride-sharing app, you can start from scratch, or you can use our token and you can use beneficiaries to split rewards for yourself. And so if you're adding some value on top of what we provide, then people will use your application and it's free money for you. Just like when busy.org or whomever, I don't know if Busy charges beneficiaries fee, or D2, when they charge when they leverage the reward splitting feature, people are like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with this because this user interface provides me with additional utility. That's the real value, because if you bootstrap car sharing token and you have, if it's got a 200 million token money supply and you've got 40 million of the tokens, do you care whether people use your interface or somebody else's interface? Or no, you want it to spread as rapidly as you can. And so that's the best answer I can give with respect to what I've learned from Steemit.com. I'm sorry I couldn't hang out longer. Maybe we can schedule this another time.
DLike 24-hour
with
upvote.
people and do more stuff like this. If it's during the day, Eastern Standard Time, that might be a little easier for me.
So here's what one thing you'll have
Unite
to do,
upvote.
Andrarchy, is you have to go through 10 questions with Gone Rogue, and we can do that offline, and we'll bring them in via video to an upcoming Steeming Pile. But I want to appreciate you and your openness to come on with us. We kind of Twitter blasted you
Out
over
the
the
show
weekend,
dog
and you were
upvote.
so responsive to us. So I appreciate you being here and for kicking off the SMT
AC Eterna
topic for our
upvote.
Hi
show. So thanks a
everyone,
lot.
good morning. Hello everyone,
Hello.
good morning.
Hello,
Hey,
good
Hello.
morning.
Hi.
good morning. We're saying goodbye to Andrew.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I
Okay.
appreciate
Jaxalot
everything you
upvote.
guys are doing too. This is a great effort, and thanks for having me on. I'll see you later.
All right, man.
Thanks, Andrew. Take care, man.
Cheers.
Oh, okay. Hi, this is the Love Junkie from
Alex 0
representing
dam 3 rupees
Air Clinic. I
upvote.
just had to wake up a few minutes ago and join.
Hey,
Welcome.
how are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Thank
So
you
in
for
your
coming on.
in the lower
Capnoster
left-hand corner,
upvote.
there's a mute button, and it's helpful just as far as not everybody talking at once or hearing a lot of background or ambient noise.
Okay, that's
Cartel
fine.
upvote.
Cool. I'm
Yep.
glad you're here. We're all glad you're here.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And so what we're going
Thank
to do
you.
now, guys, is we're going to go into we're going to actually dive
Chansith guy
into
upvote.
our SMT portion with some of our SMT projects and developers that we have on here tonight. So we have Gianni from Air Clinic, and
Critical Barney upvote.
we have, I think we have Abdul. Did we lose Abdul, or did he move? My cameras are messing up. Abdul is
Okay,
here
I'm
from
not
DLike.
alone.
Games Joyce
And
upvote.
we have Starkers. What's your first name? Or we have Starkers from Oracle D.
Yes,
Junkie
my
upvote.
name's Matt, Matt Starkey, and my old nickname was Starkers, so I kept it for when I signed onto Steam. Hello, everyone. Sorry I was a bit late turning up, but I get the point of this group and really appreciate the invite to come on and hope to talk about some really valuable things with you guys. Just very quickly, related to what Andrarchy was talking about there, we have multiple practical
DLike
applications
24-hour
going on right now for all of that stuff he's
Canran
talking about.
upvote.
We've got people asking for services. We've got people who we can bring on board into the STEEM blockchain to provide services for them to bring the same models that Andrarchy is picking examples for
upvote.
and using SMT. So I don't want to go on about it right now, right here, but if hopefully the discussion evolves around that, and I'm looking forward to some valuable conversation.
Excellent.
Thanks, Mike.
Andrarchy upvote.
Who is someone? Is anyone else getting the background noise that's like a buzzing vibration?
Oh yeah. So we have Victor. We have Victor. Is that Victor?
Over media upvote.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Victor's
this
with
is
me.
Victor.
We're together. Yeah, Victor is with me.
Hey, Victor, and Victor's from Air Clinic too. Is that right?
Cool.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
yes,
from
that's right.
Ethnic.
Awesome. So
President
here's what we're
Slabber
gonna do.
upvote.
We're gonna go in. We're gonna hear from our three SMT projects, and so I think we'll just go in alphabetical order. And what we're gonna do, everyone, if you guys are looking
Peace
at,
4
and I'll
gamer
bring it up here
upvote.
for you guys. Hold on one second. Let me make sure that you guys can all see it. So for those of you that are
Shobik
live
upvote.
or watching live, we're going to go over and just check the agenda and where we're at. Andrarchy went a little bit over. So right now we're at the community projects
Winnie
piece.
upvote.
And so what we're going to do is start off with a little bit of a panel discussion. And so the intention for this, and this is me talking to
The Spevharky upvote.
project creators, the SMT project creators, take 3 to 5 minutes and talk about the highlights of your project, any updates or
Treflo
current things
upvote.
that you're working on, and then the plan for your work or any needs that you might have. So take 3 to 5 minutes to kind of talk about that. We'll do that, and then
Tricky
after
upvote.
each of the 3 projects goes, we'll have Air Clinic first, then DLike, then Oracle D. Then what we're going to do is the simulcasters, we're going to break each of them down because all of us are here on our own streams.
You
doing
have
our
gaming
own,
upvote.
live streams. And so we're going to have them take some of the people and come up with, do a quick breakout group and come up with some questions. And then we'll
The
come back
Steeming
and
Pile
ask them
upvote.
to the panel. And for everyone else that's out there, you guys can also come in. I see someone else just jumped in, so you guys can come in and listen live as well. You can be part of our
Tazbaz,
breakout groups
upvote.
that we're doing and things like that. So, how's that sound? Any questions from our token projects before we get started with that?
Calamitwagon, upvote.
All right, so Air Clinic, we have Gianni and Victor. How are you guys?
Acknowledgement, upvote.
You guys can go ahead and tell us a little bit about Air Clinic, the project. What are some updates or current things that you guys are working on, and what's the plan or needs that you guys have?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and actually, John, thank you for that intro. And Air Clinic, I definitely want to hear from you guys. But I'm like, and I'm sorry to jump in, but I'm always interested to hear like what what drove you to create Air Clinic in the first place. Like, what was your intention, and what are you wanting to solve? Right? Yeah, I mean, what change are you trying to create? Because that to me is always fascinating to hear how the inception of an idea came.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Basically, Air Clinic was started by three persons, two doctors, myself, and George. Unfortunately, George can't make this meeting this morning. And as well as Mr. Ejimai. Ejimai should be known. He's actually known as Ejimai on Steemit. Okay, and we came together. That was in November last year, and we said, okay, it would be a good idea if you could have something like a health system on the STEEM blockchain. And so we thought it was a good idea, and we started off. Okay, we started off with the account first of all. Then afterwards, we had to start posting health-related topics. And we started off with the Discord channel where we had people join every time. We had discussions every single day. We have health-related discussions. People talk about different health issues. You know, we would educate people on different aspects concerning their health. And just really involving people. And if you go to our page on Steemit, you could see every single Wednesdays we update people on what we do every week. We have different days for different discussions and different activities. It was just a few weeks ago that we launched our app, the Health and Air Clinic app, and we also had this idea of, okay, SMTs are a good idea. As a matter of fact, SMTs are ways on which we could reward people, you know, for living healthy. So the main idea of the main reason why we actually started Air Clinic was to have a health-based system on the STEEM blockchain. We all know that the blockchain is. Is someone saying anything? We all know that the blockchain. Hello?
Yep, you're there.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Wise, I think the blockchain. Okay, we studied why I think the blockchain is like a revolutionary, you know, something that's really becoming so huge. I had to log in and make the Air Clinic community become huge, and so far so good. We've been doing our part. We've been consistent. I believe we've been so consistent on it, and people have been very responsive. People have been following. People have been, you know, giving thumbs up, and every single time we keep scaling. Right now, we have launched our app. Okay, we have people. We still do the same things on the app. Okay, people come in, have to write their health status. People post health-related topics. You know, people still have to. People also can chat with a doctor if they have issues or they want to have a doctor see them, or they want to talk to a doctor. So all these things are being done on the app right now. Of course, we still put up activities on Steemit. You know, all this details, all the whole things that we're doing every single time. We still put them up as, you know, what we're doing on Steemit. and it's been it's been going down well with us. So the main reason why we decided to start Airclinic
Games
was to have
choice upvote.
people all over the world on the STEEM blockchain come together to interact, as well as know that they could actually talk to doctors and have their health issues, solved just a talk away. I don't know if my colleague Victor has anything to add to what I just said.
Justice.
Hi guys.
Upvote.
Hey Victor.
Hey Victor.
I think the Love Junkie has done justice to Airclinic. I'll just wait by for the questions and chip in anything you have to say.
Canra. Upvote.
Sounds good. That was thank you, Gianni. Appreciate it. And also thanks for being here.
Yes, thank you.
It's really and Mickey, thank you for asking that question. So
Cal Ilmusa.
that's
Upvote.
now added to the agenda, even though it's not on the agenda. What was your purpose or your drive for creating the project to begin with? And then telling us a little bit about it. So let's
Andrarchy.
let's have
Upvote.
Abdul go next from DLike, and then we'll hear from Matt. Abdul, you are on. There you go.
Over media.
Hello,
Upvote.
This is Abdul from DLike. What I have to focus on DLike first. What we did here on
President
blockchain and why
Slabber.
we are.
Upvote.
DLike is basically a decentralized liking platform where people share whatever they like on internet and get rewarded if other people
Peace
like
4
the
Gamer.
same thing.
Upvote.
So we are building a platform where people can share things and enjoy the incentives in the forms of Steam, and
Shobit.
then we have
Upvote.
our SMD coming soon.
Oh,
So
nice.
basically what we are giving different to Steam, and what it is solving on Steam blockchain is
Winnie. Upvote.
people can add things which they like, and then they can organize those things into boards in the form of bookmarks, so they can
This
use
Bevhaki.
it to
Upvote.
watch the video later on when they need it. Just for example, let's say a woman coming, seeing some good recipe, and then say, I have no time to
Treflo.
watch this video.
Upvote.
He then drags it into his personal board, create a board, put it there, and then someone who is doing Python learning, I guess,
Tricky. Upvote.
he comes and see a video describing very well on the Python topic, and then he can drop that into his board. So basically we're building this liking system on a board system, just like
You
other,
had gaming.
you can
Upvote.
say that like Pinterest, where people can drag pins into their own likings from anyone they have shared, can use that for
The Steeming Pile.
something better
Upvote.
than the year. Later on, they can establish that into a board, and with flowers there. This is the section there you can see flowers, and this is the
Tasbaz.
section you can be videos, and there's so different kind of thing that is not even on Steem blockchain. Just I can say, if I have a video, I have an article on Steemit, and I want to read it for better time, then I can drag into my board. So basically a liking system that depends on a board where you can put all your likings, and whatever you share on here, the like, people can reward you if you shared something good. So basically we are giving a win-win situation, but this platform is giving people loyalty points for being there on regular basis, using this on regular basis. Why people should use DLike, after I have tried to explain how it is different from Steam and how it is solving something on Steam. Now I should focus on why should people use DLike. Every one of us use social media on a regular basis, Facebook and Twitter, and there's Reddit. We are basically going to mix a thing which is based on Reddit and Pinterest, where people can share and then recognize them into some boards for later use,
Council
for later
upvote.
watching. So those things which they like are not mixed into a mess. They can come and see that every time available. And this blockchain has solved this
The news upvote.
issue very well. And I hope when we have hive minds into our system, which is very good by Steem Incorporation, that we are getting hive minds, and I hope this will solve another big issue which developers have in the form of databases, and they have to maintain so much things. And most importantly, the risk of having these hijacking and people not properly managing the things into these databases. This hive mind can entirely change the Steem blockchain into a more socialized thing, and we are trying our best to put all these into a basic platform, so people can enjoy a platform where they can share things, they can give times, but the time and their efforts are get rewarded by other people in the form of, not we can say SMT yet, because we are not sure what we are going to do. Even time will tell what happens. But at present, people can reward other people in the form of Steem, which we are already getting, and people are already doing that. In addition to that, this point system, which we have loyalty point system for people to engage into each other, is giving a very good result for us. And we are getting people to engage in the basis of this point system over the Steem blockchain with the help of this reward system. So basically, I have tried to explain two things: what we are solving on Steem blockchain, and why people should use DLike. I hope if anyone have any question. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. That's excellent. Yeah, I love just for me and myself, I love the simplicity of it, and I'll probably end up just telling you all this later, but when we start out making apps like this, it's incredible because you get a lot of feedback from the community, and never lose that feedback from the community and building for them, because that's your user base. So I just, yeah, continue that. And yeah, it's super cool to see all these things launch. So thank you for that, Abdul.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks, Abdul. All right, and Matt.
Though I can't, I'm here.
Yep, you're still here. And then we're gonna hear from Matt, and then we're gonna do some Q&As.
Right.
So everyone, think about your questions for Abdul and DLike.
And get them into your simulcasters so that we can talk about them and get them going. But let's hear from Matt from Oracle D.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Can hear you.
Good to hear from yours.
We can hear you and look good for how late it is where you're at.
Yeah, this is my normal. This is normal.
Okay.
Ever since I got on the Steem blockchain a year ago, I haven't really slept. I think we've all got the same thing as well,
I was just
right?
gonna say, I hear that a lot.
It's crazy. What an addictive thing, eh?
Yeah.
It started off for Oracle D with us getting involved in. I'm originally an investor in Steem, and I'm not a techie person, but I've done a lot of project management work and large scale project development and construction and all this type of stuff. So I kind of thought, well, what can I do to add value to the blockchain? How can we add value to something? And we got involved in this thing called Promo Steem, which you may or may not have heard of, but it's a tag where people can post their promotional content to, and we've got a little bit of delegation, and we support that promotional content.
Upvote.
And we do it via a multi-proof of brain. We call it a multi-proof of brain guild, which means that I have control over the central pot of money, but I don't have control over who gets voted for. Right, so we've decentralized the vote by we've elected 67 Steem ambassadors, and these are people who have got good reputations on the blockchain. There's an election process in there that we have. There's a guideline that they have to follow, and they are great promoters of the Steem blockchain. And they basically, any three of them that vote for one blog on the Promo Steem tag, that gets upvoted by the Promo Steem Guild. So it's a decentralized vote run by people who are respected and well-renowned people on the blockchain. And if they don't follow the guidelines, we can remove them from the guild and they lose their privileges.
The
it's kind of spread, and it really grew very, very fast and became quite a popular community on the Steem blockchain. And Dylan and I, an architect who's the other guy that founded Oracle D, we were kind of like, well, how can we take this to the next level and start building communities for other people, for clients, and rather than trying to get, although delegation is always nice, so if anyone wants to delegate, it's great. But we see, rather than delegation, we want to try to create a demand for Steem. We see that Steem is it's becoming, we have to be careful on Steem because it's becoming a socialist platform where we're distributing rewards to people and we're not creating a demand. So I don't see many projects, if any, creating a demand for the Steem token. We've got some hands from Eric over there, so hopefully we've got some good news. But it's a rare thing, and we really want to push this idea of projects being supported who are creating a demand for Steem by providing a service or providing a product that clients will be from outside the Steem blockchain will be willing to pay for on an ongoing basis or from an investment basis. And so we kind of looked at this promo Steem model. And we realized that we've got all these amazing creators, and they're all high-quality writers or video makers. And we've got the potential to go out and talk to clients and go out to blockchain shows and get clients in and produce masses of content for those clients, right? Now, it may be a client that wants a community building. It may be a client that wants to run an ICO review machine on the Steem blockchain. It may be a client that wants to provide transparency to a humanitarian cause. The list just goes on and on. We've talked to people about rewarding their computer game players, their users for their computer games. We've talked to people. We've got a footballer we're working with, a professional footballer in the UK, who we've now created the website for his training program. So it's going to be an international training program. He's going to put 200 grand worth of Steem in, and then pay people to take part in his training program. We've already got a client on board who's invested $200,000 with us, and they are a large exchange. And they're trying to grow a community on the Steem blockchain, and not just on Steem, but beyond Steem. So we're effectively providing these services, and we're if they're from completely outside of Steem and outside of the blockchain, we can bring them onto Steem, and we can develop a system where they purchase Steem, and then they can create a community around their product, or they can provide a service. And yeah, that's basically it. But our kind of key realization is that the Steem blockchain is effectively a money printing machine. And as long as you create a demand for that money on the input side from the client, you can create a sustainable system that lasts, where you have a demand and a demand for your token, and you provide a service via leveraging the resources that are on the Steem blockchain, viewing the Steem blockchain essentially as the biggest startup in history with 60,000 active employees, basically. And so Oracle D is getting involved in those types of things. Its main function is a platform that we've built where our writers can come to. We can assign tasks to those writers. So we work with our clients. We provide them an interface so that they can fill in the task that they want to be written about that week. So, for example, they might want to write about an event that's coming up for them, or a coin they're just about to release, or whatever it is they want to write about. We provide that task to our 60 writers that we've got, who are all trained to our standards and meet our quality standards. And then they can voluntarily choose which task they do and go and complete that task. Oracles, but that's why we called Oracle. Our oracles go and review that work. They're essentially curators, but they can become more than that. Eventually, we will take them into physical review of work in the real world. But for the moment, they're curating on these articles, and then we're ranking them out of 5, giving them a reputation, and then rewarding them based on that reputation, and giving them bonuses every sort of quarter or something like that. We're going to give them bonuses. And it's sustainable because it's funded by our clients, and our clients can, so because of the delegation system, we don't receive any money from our clients. We help our clients purchase Steem. We help our clients hold Steem in their own keys, and then we help them delegate it to our account so that we can manage it for them. And then through our platform, as Andrarchy was saying, we take the beneficiaries as well to fund our operation. So that's kind of where it is in a nutshell. And it took us months to come up with this, and we've realized that it actually is a valid business model, and it works, and it's sustainable, because the idea is, for as long as we're receiving more Steem in than we're distributing to people, or should I say, for as long as we're receiving more US dollar value in than we are distributing to people inside of our platform, then we can say, hold our heads high and say, we are adding value to the Steem blockchain by creating more demand than we're providing to the users that we supply. And then what we do with those profits is we burn 8.5% of them, so that we remove our effect on the inflation on the Steem blockchain. And so it's restricting the supply via the profits that you've made. And yeah, so that it's a lot of information. We're not as good as Abdul below, in that he's got a nice simple, you very clearly understand it straight away. But essentially, we've got a platform where people can go find tasks, and they have to be high quality people. And we have clients who can come and give tasks to those high quality people and create the tasks on the blockchain.
I like you. We're going to talk.
I appreciate that. We're very passionate about Steem. We really think it has things like Ethereum, where you can create your own tokens, except there is an inbuilt mechanism into the Steem blockchain to leverage a community of people to actively do something valuable for a client and create demand for the token. And if we can get that culture shift on the Steem blockchain, it changes from a platform of bloggers to a platform of service providers, where there's a demand for the token. And all of these projects, there's a lot of projects that don't create demand for the token, but we firmly believe that the more projects that come along that do create demand, we can all survive together. At the moment, we're a bit worried that Steem is not sustainable because there's not enough demand creation. There's only distribution at the moment. But we think that there's a happy medium for everyone. And we've noticed on Steem that you lead by example. So if you come up with an idea and it works, 50 other people will do it overnight, and that's what we're hoping to do. Once we start people thinking like this, we'll be like, oh, right, okay. As long as we create a demand for the token, we can, it's sustainable. And then when people start thinking like that, the price of Steem can go through the roof. But that's what we all want at the end of the day, I guess.
What is absolutely most striking for me is a lot of the communities rely on the community, and that's fair. Now, what you're doing is you're taking outside pursuits and saying, hey, look, we already got this on the blockchain here. You can buy into this community and use it to your advantage to get to your ends of what you're looking to accomplish. I think in the early stages, a lot of that really is going to be more marketing people filling out forms and stuff like that willingly. And then I'm sure that's probably what you're doing too, right? I mean, that kind of thing. But regardless, it's creating demand from outside, and that's what's it's not about just cashing out and coming to the blockchain, making your money and leaving. The way I see it is, if you're not living on the blockchain, you can't live off the blockchain. And
Correct.
And that I think a lot of people have that in their mind, that they can come on, live off the blockchain without living on it. And I don't see that being sustainable value.
No, it's not sustainable.
It has to come in. It has to.
Correct.
It has to.
It's and further to that, not only do we follow that mantra, but we want to start this thing of kind of ethical Steem businesses where the profits that we create, because we could just take our profits in Ethereum and then never see Steem, right? We could just charge clients in Ethereum. But what we do is we're going to have a mechanism where the clients can pay in any currency, and we will always transfer it into Steem. We will use that turnover to pay our users, to pay our writers. If the client doesn't have a Steem investment, but as they invest more in Steem, as they hold more Steem, that service, the price of that service goes down until they get to a sizable pot of Steem where the service is free, because they're just paying it purely in rewards. We try to aim for about $15 a blog on average, just from our accounts. And the idea is then that if our clients are paying and they don't hold Steem, but they're paying, say, $2,000 for 100 blogs or something, right? Which we can do on the Steem blockchain. We can produce 100 blogs in 2 weeks, and it's crazy, right? We can produce 100 high quality blogs for clients. You go and speak to any ICO, you go and speak to any company, they go, 100 blogs. Did you just say 100 blogs? Yeah. Because they struggle to create 2 or 3 blogs a week, and then the idea is that if we make profits from that, if we want our business to be sustainable,
we have to make sure those profits that live on the Steem blockchain. And we also have to make sure that we burn 8.5% of those profits to counteract the fact that we have brought in an inflation by bringing those profits into our company. And as long as we can burn that 8.5% and still keep a profit margin, we have every reason to have the Steem price going up. And if everyone else starts doing it as well, you restrict the supply of Steem till the price can go through the roof. Yeah. And if we follow that model, if all of our businesses on the Steem blockchain follow a similar model to that, you can really have something amazing.
Cool. Thanks, Matt. For panelists, I just put a thing in there, and for those of you that are watching, if you have questions for either Victor from Air Clinic, Abdul from DLike, or Matt from Oracle D, get them in your chat, and your simulcaster will bring them in. We were gonna do a breakout group, but I think that might at this point add a little bit more confusion than necessary. So I think what we'll do is just, if you guys are out there listening, you have questions, type them in, and our simulcasters will bring them in. And then for right now, it'll just kind of be an open session for any of the simulcasters or anyone else online. There's someone else that came on. I want to make sure that I introduce them as well. Blessing Obanaya, how are you?
I'm still the same person, the Love Junkie. I have to sign up. It's still me, the Love Junkie Clinic.
Gotcha. How are you? You came in.
I'm great. Thank you.
So, all right. So, any other questions for any of our panelists from you guys or any in the chat?
Let me ask around a bit.
Go ahead. Yes,
for you people that are live on DLive, how many viewers do you have in your room? I mean, not to say they might be duplicates or whatever, but let's see a show of hands. How many viewers?
We've got 13 over here.
All right. Who else? Anyone else simulcasting?
17 over here.
Heck yeah.
Over here.
Right on. Okay, so we're looking about 45-ish.
10. I got 10.
All right, 55.
Eric.
All right. I was just curious. So that should be a lot of questions. Now I'll shut up. Go ahead.
It's not bad.
Yeah. So a question for Oracle D, or Starker. So I'm taking a peek at the website, and one thing I think would be cool, and I don't know if you guys have talked about it or not, but it'd be awesome to see a list of your clientele. Obviously, you know, with their permission, all that good stuff, but a list of clientele. And I know it's a novel way of kind of representing this stuff, but like we were discussing, or like you were saying, you'll have some successes and some of them will not succeed, but showing both the successes in what did take off and even some of the stuff that failed would be awesome and pretty, I think, productive for anybody else who's wanting to attempt something maybe along the same lines or touch on something like that. So
yeah, it's a very interesting point, actually. Something we've debated a lot over whether to show our clients or not. So one of the selling points of this is that we can create a wall of separation between the writers and the clients, and we can do it through accounts that are not tied to the client's name in any way. And it results in this apparently grassroots movement exploding from nowhere. And it's very, very, very difficult for anyone to tie that back to a specific account. And so one of the services that we offer is anonymity to our clients, because now they can go to their investors and say, hey, look, we've just had 150 blogs created out of nowhere over here. Take a look at this. And it doesn't appear to be a paid promotion in any way or anything like that. However, at the same time, what you are saying is very, very valid. And so we probably need to do a better job. And we're just getting set up and going, but we probably need to do a better job of distinguishing between the clients who want to have anonymity and the clients who are happy with us sort of presenting the fact that we're working with them. And there are a couple of examples we could probably talk about already. So I appreciate that, and we will take that on board and put a separate page up with the clients who want to.
You average guy upvote.
Basically.
Sure. Right on. Awesome. Thank you.
I have a question for Air Clinic, which either one would like to answer or both.
Crypto Moon, upvote.
After they did their little commercial, you know, their little 30-minute commercial. Really, the big thing that struck out to me is, so obviously doing it on the STEEM blockchain, obviously the way you're going about it, you're decentralizing healthcare, which is a hot button topic in most political circles. So my question to you is, as far as the doctors that are willing to do this, are you seeing more of a situation where it's coming from areas where the doctors may not be quote unquote properly financed? And in that case, you might see somebody from America that may not be in their best interest or make that time to do it, but you'll find a lot of opportunity for people that are in developing areas or just areas that may not have that infrastructure built. Do you see that as a good way of helping to fund that, helping to build the infrastructure, helping to keep the doctors busy and give them more less free time and more productivity for their knowledge?
Hi guys.
Hey Victor.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. What? Oh.
Yes, sir.
Yep. We can hear you.
Okay.
Thanks, Victor.
Okay, I am at Antigen X on Steemit. Dr. Victor is my name, as you can see on the screen. I'm the community manager of Air Clinic. Your question was, as far as the doctors are on the blockchain, do they have cases that they can not handle from other countries? Am I right?
Do you feel this? Yes. Do you feel that gives more opportunity in countries where the healthcare may not, the healthcare foundation, the foundation of the healthcare may not be fully developed to where it can help fund that infrastructure or help give more opportunities to doctors in those areas?
Okay, your question is a very bit dicey. Anyway, the healthcare is a unique, what's it called? The health system is universal. What is taught in USA is taught in Nigeria, is taught in everywhere in the world. So if a doctor is seeing a patient from Nigeria and he has challenges with that, he can refer the patient to a doctor in another country without any stress by forwarding all the patient's history to the other doctor. Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, now we're listening. Yep. Absolutely. We can hear you.
So as we are a health clinic on the blockchain, the health clinic will give a Uber-like services on the blockchain. I think I have a network problem.
We're fairly cooperative. We understand.
I have a network. My network is acting up.
Okay, thank you, Victor. I hope you guys can hear me.
We can hear you well.
Okay, thank you very much. If I got his question properly, he's asking how we intend to manage people from different parts of the world coming to consult a doctor in health clinic. Basically, as doctors, like he already said, we have the same foundational teachings. So the issue now is that having to cross various people or socioeconomic backgrounds and different humans, we tend to approach or we tend to reply people based on the fact that these persons are coming to us as patients, notwithstanding where they're coming from or what country they're coming from. So the issue now is that peradventure they have various, we have to like refer them or socioeconomic backgrounds. As a doctor, what we do normally, if a patient comes to us, the first thing to do is to collect them, approach, and we can do that over the chat, based on the fact that these persons are coming to us. We ask them questions, and if we see that they need to see maybe a doctor based on surgery, or they have to see doctor having to do one or two things for STEM. For me as a dental surgeon, if I have to refer a patient because the patient has a toothache and that toothache has to be extracted after giving him various options. Then hopefully we have quite different dental doctors even on the STEEM blockchain that are already on Air Clinic. I'll just have to ask if this person is in this country and connect him or her to such a doctor so that he could from there carry on. So basically, I believe that as time goes on, things will be easier
Super
when it
draft
comes to having to
upvote.
refer people. But the first thing is just for them to reach out to us first and see how we can alleviate their pain or give them answer their questions on how they could become better. So if it now has to do with maybe them seeing a one-to-one doctor so that they could completely get being treated or having to get drugs or anything, then we can now refer them to somebody already on the blockchain, so they could see the person one-on-one and also get to have their treatment fully.
Could I ask a question to our clinic?
Please go ahead. Sure, please go ahead.
All right.
Absolutely.
So I've been working with George on producing some media over the last couple of weeks for our clinic as well. So I'm familiar with the project. Okay. But something that just came to my mind is this something where you could get national healthcare providers or even national governments who are providing healthcare per their free healthcare programs to hold a pot of steam and then pay your doctors through upvotes or pay volunteers through upvotes in some way? So, you want to hold a large pot of steam and then use the service that our clinic provides, or is it just the idea is just to have people turn up and work and volunteer? Because the problem with that I see is that if you have users that don't have much steam behind them, they can't give much of an upvote for the service that they're given. But I don't know how that would work exactly. So I'm just interested to understand.
I understand that when it comes to Steam, we'd want people to be an investor so that, as more persons are coming into Steam or the Steam blockchain, the value of Steam is going up. Okay, yes. Hopefully, George's name is Naira Daddy on Steemit. We have actually spoken about that. But before we can get to that level, many Nigerians are yet to really, especially the people that have come to really appreciate the blockchain. The blockchain is just gradually becoming something to talk about in the country. So before we can really get to those big persons in those positions, we really need to still do some groundwork. Do you understand? And we are hoping that once they can accept the blockchain technology, and since Air Clinic is already on the STEEM blockchain as the very first healthcare ecosystem, we definitely believe that once they can understand the blockchain technology and see that we are doing an awesome job, they'll be able to buy into it and, of course, want to hold Steam so that hopefully the price of Steam can go up. And we are really hoping that the first thing as doctors, what we intend to do that is if you could get, for us as doctors, let's say we're just young doctors, we're not yet started, we're about starting residency. So there's a part of actually going into the resident or the general hospitals where we could start having talks and start educating people about the blockchain and telling them that, okay, this is what we intend to do, this is what we are doing. Then also they could start buying into what we are doing and they want to come on board. So I believe that it's just something we'll have to, start working on and hopefully get to see materialize as time goes on. Yes, it's very possible.
Thanks for that. Is it Irene Blessing, your username?
Yes. Oh, my username is the Love Junkie on Steemit. My username is the Love Junkie on Steemit, but my Facebook name is what you're seeing there now.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that.
Thank you too. You're welcome.
Just the thing that interests me is that I think it's a matter of time before governments get involved in Steam.
Exactly, it's just a matter of time.
And I think one of the services that we, as a community, one of the services as a community that we should be setting ourselves up to help provide is this kind of decentralized healthcare system, because the money that can come in through that is tremendous, and the amount of people's lives that can be changed are also massive. So thanks for the answer.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions for any of our panelists, either from the Simulcasters chats or any other panelist or simulcaster?
I was interested in asking Starkers. When you spoke with her, what I heard was sort of the idea of holding some funds in escrow. And can you hear me all right? And
Yes, I can.
and maybe this if I misunderstood you, then further clarify that or give me some more details. But it seemed to me that also related to the idea when you were talking about your concern, your company, of something in the real world adding value so that the economy is much more viable. Because what I see is a danger of creating a crypto economy with a front end that doesn't maximize that utility. The utility of the crypto economy, as the other, what was his name? Andrarchy spoke about. If your front end doesn't capitalize on what the economy can do, and if it doesn't present it and feature it and showcase it in such a way, then you've got an economy that's in danger of stagnating, or worse still, becoming a possibly, how do I say this, incestuous, convoluted, self-cannibalizing human centipede. So, you know, and the other, was it Patrick that, or somebody on here had mentioned, you know, if you're not living on the blockchain, you can't live off the blockchain. And I don't think that's accurate. I think the fact of the matter is, if you can't come up with a viable business that brings in users and due to a demand, then you can't really create value like any other business throughout history, and you won't see profits. So go ahead and kind of riddle me out that if you can.
Yeah, it goes. If it's all right, if anyone else wants to talk and answer this question, I have an idea of what I think I want to say. But
okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
go for it.
So I'm completely in agreement with this. I think it's one of the most important things on Steem to make it a viable blockchain. I mean, if you look, for example, what you've just described is exactly what you're all familiar with. CoinMarketCap, I take it, the website that lists all of the coins. Well, about a year ago, if I remember rightly, Steem was number 6, right? And yes, all of the cryptos have had crashes and the prices have gone down massively, but you have to measure them relatively to how they've done. And the Steem blockchain is now at number 39 today, I think. Well, that to me is the graphical representation of what you've just described, in that the Steem blockchain has become a little bit incestuous. Now, I think this is because what we have is a lot of developers and a lot of great bloggers and great quality content creators, but they're not necessarily entrepreneurial thinking. So most of the bloggers on Steem are thinking about, how can I make some money without putting anything in? How can I get some off? Partly because that's what we've told them. We've said, hey, come and you can make some money, right? Well, whereas it should be, come and provide a service and create an economy, right? That's what Steem is. Steem is a tool to create economies. And so just to answer your point, following on from that, what you have is an opportunity here for us to leverage all of the skills. I mean, just in this group of 12 people we've got here, there's probably hundreds of different skills we can leverage between each other to create a value system, to create something valuable that we can then charge people for, or provide for free if you hold Steem, right? So now you're creating a demand for the token. And one of the things that we're currently struggling with and just setting up is, if you hold 0 Steem, this is how much the service costs, and this is how much we're going to put into the Steem blockchain to burn. If you hold a bit more Steem, this is how much less the service costs, until a certain point where you hold, well, the pot for the clients we're talking about to pay about $15 upvote per blog is about $250,000 worth of Steem. Once you hold $250,000 worth of Steem, you can have 400 blogs a month created and pay 50 different writers to voluntarily come and write for your campaign. So this is the service that we provide. It's our primary service anyway. But the other service is, can we find clients who want to be able to create money out of nothing, out of a pot of investment, and then distribute that to volunteers who can work for them. So we're currently working with an ICO, a hedge fund, who wants to build an ICO review machine on the Steem blockchain. So it's like, okay, good, we get the contract in place, and it's like, okay, you need to hold X amount of Steem in order to fund that and run that whole machine, right? To be able to stay on top of every single ICO in the market and get to the top of your last like 2 or 3 excellent ICOs out of that pot of ICOs that you're reviewing, you need X amount of steam. So we're currently working on the calculation for that. So you can bring in investment by creating a mechanism for someone to build their business, or you can bring in payments or people who are willing to hold steam because they're going to get a service for doing that via an app that you're building. So those are the 2 things there, and I think it's of primary importance that we focus on doing those 2 things, because if we don't, I think what you're saying there, and I think I'm saying the same thing, is that we're justified in saying that the Steem blockchain essentially could become unsustainable. And so it's a sad thing because I love it, and we have this beautiful opportunity because we have this mechanism to exploit here that we really can do these things, but we need to start doing them.
Don't you think so? This is the responsibility in corporation, even corporation, instead of individuals. Individuals come, why we tell them come here, why? This is an incentive for you, you can earn it. So basically they come for mind thinking. But it is Steem as an incorporation who have to ensure that we make a mechanism where we are not falling from roof. Once we try to bring new people and then stabilize the base of Steem, then all of a sudden Steem has to jump as an incorporation to stabilize things. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I mean that's also another way of looking at it. The way that I'm looking at it from sort of driving, creating a demand for the token by providing a service, I think it's a bit more direct, whereas the way you're talking about is more indirect, and then it's very difficult to measure. But it's still valid. Don't get me wrong, right? There is still a demand for Steem token in order to obtain influence on the platform. But I'm just saying that I haven't seen that as much. Maybe a year ago, you were seeing people investing for influence. At the moment, because of the crypto lull, you're not seeing that. So Steem really is getting hit hard for it. And I'm seeing that. I'm definitely seeing Steem getting hit hard. But one of the things that I want to say here is the more of these value systems that we create as a community. So I'm going to Indonesia in 6 weeks' time. I'm going to meet with both presidential candidates, right? And that's purely through the Steem blockchain. It's through people that we know on Steem. They've hooked us up. They know we're going to Indonesia to present. And so they're going to put us in touch with politicians in Indonesia, big business people in Indonesia who want to invest. They're going to put us in touch with the organization that runs 36,000 schools in Indonesia. And they all want to know about blockchain. And it's like, well, we can provide you these solutions. I know a team in Nigeria who run a healthcare system called Air Clinic, and they could put your healthcare system partially on the blockchain, right? And you start speaking to countries about this stuff. And we are 60,000 people. So some of us know some serious people somewhere along the line. And it's a case of us getting these systems in place so then we can all go and be Steem ambassadors and market Steem. I may not have the solution directly, but I'll know someone on Steem who does. And we have, I mean, it's such an opportunity, and there isn't another blockchain like it. And also the fact that large investors could hold large pots of Steem and delegate that power to other users who can manage it in their own special ways, depending on what that person wants. It's a fantastic thing, and it excites the hell out of me anyway.
Yeah, I think so too. And back to what Abdul was saying too, though, I think that and that's why I like talking about this, and so glad that all of you kind of came on and we're talking about your projects, is that I think once Incorporated gets the SMT development piece out of the way and deployed, I do think that you will see that. So you'll have more of the entry to Steem is done by all of you and other people that are building on or building SMTs, and then their focus will inevitably shift towards doing more marketing and doing more community building and things like that, just by the nature of what's next for them.
Can I also just respond to that quick, just very briefly? One of the things that I like about the SMT that I haven't heard much about is that, so for example, at the moment, I have a client who holds $200,000 worth of Steem. They are at mercy to the interest rate of Steem and the amount of Steem being distributed to people. So because there isn't much demand for Steem at the moment, because we're not creating it as a community, my client is suffering because they're paying for everyone else's distribution of Steem on the platform. Whereas when I have an SMT, I can shield myself from that. I mean, I will still earn Steem as well, but we'll have an SMT that isn't distributed to other projects. Because at the moment, it's all a competition as to who can have the most Steem power in order to exploit the rewards pool the most. It's not necessarily who's creating the most demand. Whereas when you get an SMT, you will be rewarded directly for the amount of demand that you bring in to your own token as opposed to the Steem token.
That's real. That's very important. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any
Right.
other panelists have any reaction to that discussion? That I may have missed.
I'm going to save my reaction for when I get Matt on my show for the interview.
Who's Matt?
The guy who was just talking?
I don't know who he is. I don't know who that guy is.
Oh. Yeah, he'll be a good interview. It's been done.
I'll look forward to it.
Abdul, did you have a follow-up, or Victor, or Blessing? And if not, what'd you say, Abdul?
Yes, I will hear.
All right, gone rogue here, guys. I have a question for Air Clinic. And for those who are curious about it, obviously, like all of us, maybe newcomers, people who have no idea what the STEEM blockchain is, and or the services that are coming out of the ecosystem. Can you give us a couple examples that you've seen that Air Clinic's been really good at when it comes to like solving a solution? Do you guys have examples of that? Because I would love. I mean, because so I understand the concept, and it's and delivering the concept is easy. But have there been any real world examples of stuff that has come to fruition, people that have been helped or assisted?
Okay, thank you for the question. Before we had the app launched, okay, Victor, you want to go? You can go ahead. No problem.
Are you there?
We're hearing you. Please go ahead.
Okay, can I talk on your behalf?
Yes, please go ahead. I'm going to speak.
Okay, I think my network is better now. Hi, guys. Before the app was launched, like 3 weeks back, we were mainly on Discord. On Discord, we gave health talks, like Dr. Blessing said. We also saw patients who consulted with doctors online, and we opened up a confidential folder for them. And they gave some useful feedbacks by telling us that they were better than before when they got the prescription from the doctor. Right now, on the app, we have a feature called Doctor on Duty. You can either chat with the doctor online, or you can video call a doctor. The doctors on duty, they have a time where you can access their services. I think it's 12 to 4 p.m. GMT +1. So if anybody on the Steem blockchain or any other blockchain has a problem, you could either choose to chat with the doctor online or video call a doctor, and your problems will be half solved.
Yeah, thank you very much, Victor, for that. And let me just add, you asked specifically if you have people, like let's say testimonies in quote. Yes, we do. Quite a number of persons have reached out to us and have appreciated the fact that we were there for them. The other day, somebody spoke with George and, told George that's Naira, that he told George that he went to see a doctor in Ghana, and this was what the doctor told him. And after George took his time to do another clerking, he had to tell the patient that what he was diagnosed, was perhaps not fully done properly. And so he put him through after he got his diagnosis and told him that this is exactly what you are according to what you have told me, history taking and everything, and gave me an advice on how to go about, having to get the right treatment for the condition that he had. So this is just one of the conditions or one of the patients that have come back to tell us that, oh, thank you. I went ahead to do what you told me to do. I got the treatment, and I'm much better. So yes, we have people that have had to get to us. We have done our part, and we have heard them come back to tell us, oh, thank you for talking to me. I'm better. I went ahead to take your advice. I went here, I went there, and I'm much better. So yes, we have countless testimonies about it.
Nice, thank you for that.
Great.
I have an Apple phone, so I don't have the pleasure of downloading the app yet.
Okay.
So, so let's see. So I have tons of questions, right? So forgive me.
Okay.
And I hope you guys, at least some of the audience, finds them valuable. Another question would be, so if I did download this app, what kind of patient information needs to be given, if any?
Okay. Patient information is like, take for instance, if you saw a doctor the last time you went, you know that you're seeing a doctor one-on-one. And when you're seeing a doctor, the doctor is asking you questions. That's what we call clerking. Now, the doctor is liable to ask you any question he deems fit, as long as he's trying to help you get, trying to link your answers together to try and get a diagnosis. So there is no limit to what the doctor can ask you. But of course, it's between you and him, even over the app, and it's confidential. Nobody's listening. Nobody's hearing you. As a matter of fact, when we started on Discord, we had a page or a channel where we had to put up our certificates with the national body, the health body in Nigeria, that's even cuts across West Africa. So people could know that we are certified doctors. And so because we are certified doctors, people need to know that you can talk to us about any issue at all. We don't go about telling other people. In medicine, we have the oath that we had, the Hippocratic oath, where you don't tell people or even your fellow doctor what this patient came to tell you or what this patient came to confide with you about. So it's between yourself, the patient, and the doctor. So there's no restriction, there is no limit to what the doctor asks you, as long as the doctor is able to get the diagnosis of what could be wrong with you as a patient, and that stuff stays with the doctor.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, when we get into the healthcare industry, I think, or those kinds of services, I think privacy becomes a really big deal. And then the security of that information becomes a big deal too.
Yes.
So, with for example, I forget what the hospital's names were in the UK, but they became, susceptible to attacks. And I mean, malicious attacks where they extract these users' data and, then obviously having that data float around in the world is not a good thing. So from a security standpoint, how would you rate yourselves?
Okay, based on what we've done so far, security standpoint, I would say that on the ratings of 0 to 10, I'll give ourselves 8, because I said that whatever discussions, whatever might be said between a patient and a doctor stays with the doctor. As a matter of fact, once a doctor is on duty, take for instance, it could be Dr. George, which is Naya Daddy, it could be Dr. Victor, it could be Dr. Endo Patricia. She's from, I think, Venezuela. We have quite a number of doctors on the app from different countries.
Indie 8 fish
Once
upvote.
they are on call or on the app talking to patients, we don't even get to know who the patient was, as in the other doctors. We don't even get to know, we don't even get to find out or hear what the condition was. So whatever it is the patient spoke to that particular doctor, the other doctors don't know at all. Do you understand? So that's how private and very, very particular about the privacy of our patients are. We don't get to talk to any of the doctors. Oh, this patient can talk to me about this issue, or this patient. No. Whoever it is you saw stays with that doctor.
Sure. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Okay, just to add, as Joe if I got your username correctly. The iOS version will come up shortly. I think Dr. Josh is working on that.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me ask, how many patients have you chatted with so far online that have got in touch with you via the app? How many discussions have you had? Or I'm maybe not number of chats, but sort of unique visitors, as they would say in historical terminology?
Okay, good question. Like I said earlier, we do not have to ask doctors how many patients they have seen. Okay. Right now, for Dr. George, I know majority of the times he is the one, because he's a general practitioner. The other doctors that we have quite like 4 or 5 general practitioners from different parts of the world. So majority of the time, when this patient comes, they come to see these general practitioners. It is when their diagnoses have been made and we know, oh, this particular patient has to see maybe a urologist, or this patient has to see a surgeon, or this patient has to see an internal medicine doctor and stuff. So we tend to direct this patient to different doctors. But right now, I would say at least a count of between 70 and 90, that we have heard from, that we have chatted with, according to what Dr. George has, told me about. But that's just for the number of patients that we have seen, even those persons that we didn't complete, their diagnosis, but people that just came and say, oh, I want to see a doctor, I want to talk to a doctor. Those are the number of persons that we have had based on that alone.
And that's reasonable. No one said, hey, you need to bring charts and diagrams. So that's reasonable. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Cool.
Any other question?
Yeah, any other questions for Air Clinic, or any questions for Abdul from DLike, or
I have a question for Abdul, actually.
Okay.
Same here.
Yeah, mine was just more around, like you mentioned Reddit and that sort of thing. And of course, Reddit's just like a lot of other social media sites outside of the blockchain have the things that people don't like about it. Have you paid attention to those at all when it comes to your thoughts on how DLike will operate? As far as just certain things being propagated on the site, and where you'll fall on the First Amendment rights sort of thing.
Abdul, you are muted, so we cannot hear you. Oh.
Thank you.
Yep, there you are.
There you go.
The basic thing which we have differentiate from these big names, you can say those are big names, Reddit, Facebook, that we are basically decentralized due to a blockchain. This is very obvious that we are on blockchain and it's a decentralized system. And then the thing which focus more on us is that we are incentive based, just like he was talking, that why people come here, they see money and they're coming. So there is always an incentive where people use something. This is an incentive on Steem blockchain having rewarded where people do good something for others. We have a very simple idea that if you share something that you like on internet, everywhere you like on internet, a video, an image, any meme, that's what you like on internet, share on DLike and get rewarded if others like. So basically it's a thing where people give you voting, people reward your effort and time. So we you can say on over of that, we are trying to basically bring SMTs into it, which will add an initial incentive to people over the Steem blockchain and Steem votes they are already getting. So I can say, yes, we are differentiating ourselves from those big names, but it is early stages, and let's see how SMTs goes and how we can make more inroads into those who are already doing things which we are now trying. So basically Steem, and the thing which I am very much you can say I am very much excited about this new Steam offer is Hive Mind. We were building a system where we were lacking the facility of security. Of course, we have to put things on database, just like say if we have to add reactions from users to other users, we have to use databases, and then for this point system we have to use it. But I think with HiveMind we will be very happy to have these things entirely on blockchain that will give more decentralized system. So in a nutshell, we are just, this is just start, and let's see how things unfold when we have HiveMind and then we go to testnet. And let's hope we will have very better interface and very better usability for our users compared to those names which we are already talking. And definitely we are working on an Android variant which will be available in just week or 2 weeks. With this variant, we are focusing those people who are not able to use this laptop or your machine, or they are way and on traveling, they can just take picture and share, and that's people like that and get rewarded. I hope this idea will regenerate an emerging market economy for people who are already sharing things on Facebook and Reddit with incentives they will get. And I hope, not hope, I am very much excited about these things. Let's hope Steam do it in the way they are planning, and we get result. I am not very much worried about Steam price. Let's be very sure. We should not be worried about it. We should worry one thing, that we have good base, good Steam user base. If we had a big user base and we have a proper product to show people, then investors will come. Don't run with those investors and come, hi, you should invest in Steam. No, show them that we have this. Once we will have SMT, you will see the price will rise up. There will be a flow of dApps on Steam. I'm sure there will be a flow of dApps on Steam, and people will run with any ideas. And Andrarchy was talking about a car sharing idea, and you will see that air cleaning is an indefinite, very idea that it is covering a huge market. Health market is very huge. Similarly, Oracle, and we can see Activity is doing a proof of activity, and then Steam Hunt. All these things will emerge into new shape then when they have some incentives in the form of investment they get on ICOs. And yes, there will be huge number of inflows of dApps. I am very sure. Let's hope Steam do what they are planning.
Nice.
I hope I have.
Oh yeah, totally. I get, yeah. Patrick, you had a question as well for Abdul, didn't you?
I did, but he kind of touched on it a little bit. I was just going to check in to see, as far as user interfaces, if we would be able to look at any upcoming Android or iOS app bases for it.
Sorry, I did not get Android.
Android or iOS, just if there was going to be any future app development to move DLike into a more emerging market-friendly interface.
I got it. If we go to list of Steam dApps right now, you can see top 4 out of 10 are entirely apps. So we can see already a huge number of Steam users are not on, but they like to use it. So we are definitely going to it with a better interface where things will be same as we are planning, not a differentiate. Things cannot be different on both interfaces. Yes, Android, but we are very ready and we are just testing the features on Android, and we will follow with iOS, but I am not sure about iOS, when will it come. But I am very, I can say in just 1 week or 2, we will have this Android variant. We are trying to have some features like camera facilities, so people on the go can put in the way. You can see that DLike is a system where you can do anything. You have not to write long articles to get in. We are focusing the young generation, which is just not coming to this Steam because they think we have to write a long article, then we have to put something valuable things which have to be focused on an entire topic. So we are focusing for those people to come into Steam and see that this is another opportunity as a social media for you. where you can share whatever you like. And if people like your sharing, you will get rewarded. So this Android and iOS variant will make life easy for those users, especially for those who not giving much time but want to remain active on Steam.
Andrarchy
And I
upvote.
hope Steam will have much more user base with things as unfold. I think other dApps will be having these Androids and iOS variants soon. And you can see in last 2 weeks, ActiveIt has a huge, they have, with iOS introduction, they have gone from bottom to very high top, in top 10, just because they are giving something special to the usability of user. Same is Patrico. Patrico is giving very good result, and just like we have in Canada, everyone was using Patrico and he was very excited, and you can see the numbers from 900 to 1000, and that's it. So we are very much focusing on that market portion where people are just people love to use their phones to be in touch with the community. I hope I covered that portion.
That's perfect.
Thank you.
Cool, cool. Any other questions out there, maybe from the chat or from you guys for any of the panelists?
I'm checking here.
I've just been getting a response that, you know, I have somebody that's in my chat that's new to the blockchain, new to DLive, and this is all very interesting for her, you know. She's really gotten a lot of information. Air Clinic, she can already think of somebody that she forwarded the Air Clinic information to somebody else that she's brought on the Steem. And yeah, I think it's great information.
Cool, good stuff, Eric.
Yeah, good stuff. Very cool.
Anyone else?
Let's see.
Yeah, nothing on my side.
Okay.
Thank you guys. You've been excellent.
Yeah. So with that, so here's what we're going to do. Andrarchy's going to share her screen just so everyone on Zoom can look at it. And I think, Andrarchy, what I'd like to do is maybe just kind of go over your graphic a little bit. And then what we'll do is we'll give our panelists kind of a minute or two after that to talk about like what's upcoming for them and just some information that they want on how to stay in touch with the work that they're doing. So hey, Andrarchy.
Hey, how's it going, you guys?
Good. And so this is Andrarchy, everyone. She is a great graphic facilitator, and so she provides those services for our simulcast. But make sure that you go to Andrarchy's page and send her some love, especially after tonight, because look at this.
Thank you. Yeah, so I tried to keep up with what everyone was saying. If I got some info on there that's wrong, please call it out so I can fix it before we post it and everything.
We will have several clients who would be interested in this quality of work, so we'll get in touch with you separately. Thank you. That's awesome.
Now listen, you can't take her on Tuesday nights at 9:30, Matt. I don't know what you have planned, but
that's our time.
Yes, and not on Thursdays because therapy Thursdays.
Yeah, we're all getting therapy.
Our schedules are getting filled out.
All right, so you guys are seeing that we have Andrarchy's opening, the SMT panel discussion, and then some Q&A information. So we'll get this graphic sent to all of you who participated. What stood out to you guys? What are some reactions or reflections? I know we're just kind of just wrapping up the discussion, but for me, I really like I was like kind of starstruck when people come in and they start talking about the work that they're doing. Like Abdul came in and we've all talked about DLike before, and you can just see the work that he's done. And then with Air Clinic, I really didn't know the background. So to know like and hear the background and your guys' story and what you're trying to do, it really just makes that kind of hit home. And then Matt, we've just had conversations back and forth, and to have you come on and talk about your history on the platform and the blockchain itself, and then you know, you knew Andrarchy and said hi to him, and I think you're going to Token Fest in Boston this week too as well. And so just having you on here, I'm just appreciative that all of you guys made time to come on and had a great chat with us.
Yeah, I'd just like to say I really, really appreciate this quality of work in front that I'm looking at is awesome. The questions that you guys have asked and the insight that you've all got, you clearly all know what you're talking about. And it's nice to see on the STEEM blockchain that people are meeting with this a meeting of minds and bringing these projects together to speak to each other. And that is how we get better together, you know. So I love it, and I really appreciate the invite to come on. And I look forward to coming on again the next opportunity I get, because I really enjoyed it. So thanks very much.
Right on. Thank you, man.
Cool.
And just to say, yeah, we are presenting at Token Fest. Steemit Inc. has invited us to a spot on the stage there in front of all the biggest names in cryptocurrency. We're going to have 15 minutes on Thursday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time. So I'm actually leaving for the airport in about 7 hours from now. I've got a little bit of packing to do. But it'll be good, you know. We'll hopefully get to speak to some potential clients and bring some attention to the blockchain, and maybe even bring some money into it and some work for people to do. And yeah, should be good.
Awesome, man.
All right.
Yes. Indonesia needs more blockchain. They need you. I like your meta approach. Well, and I noticed that the three different people here tonight and the projects they're working on, they're plugging into the blockchain in different ways, you know, and that's really cool. So
nice. Any other reactions for our panelists from you guys?
Yeah, no, I'll just reiterate what I said earlier. Guys, keep digging from the community, because they're you know, it's I guess it's from all of them, us, that these problems are being solved, or we find out what problems need solutions and stuff like that. So yeah, don't forget that broader scope of the community. I'm not saying that you guys have, but always keep that in your pocket, because I think that's essential and it's important going forward. Yeah, thank you guys all for being here, for sure. I appreciate the insight on all the things that you guys are bringing, and really what the future has to hold as far as SMTs and Steem. I'm super fascinated and excited about everything. It's fun stuff, man. I love it.
I would like to spin off of the topic. We'll go off the topic, and don't everybody groan at once, but maybe propose some homework, maybe something that we can talk for next week. Yeah, there's one. I propose a DApp a day campaign, to where we pick a DApp that we can use once a day. I mean, you can use it more, but just maybe feature something and try to make a post or do some sort of activity on that DApp one day a week, and maybe you could pick your days.
Here's a problem, Eric. I have an iOS, man.
No,
that is your problem.
Well, that's okay. I mean, that could be worked around, right?
If you believe in decentralization.
We just beat you.
Are you trying to tell me to trade in my iOS for an Android?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
How
upgrade.
dare you?
I suggest you upgrade.
No, that is not an upgrade. I'm sorry.
I actually just traded my Android for an iOS.
Oh. So that being said, I think you could figure out some workarounds. I think Patrick and I talked on stream yesterday. It might be a little hard to find 7 that you could actively use every day.
Yep.
But that's what I'm gonna work on.
There's a lot of them out there. You might be able to.
Right.
Good suggestion.
And so maybe that's something we can all figure out for next week.
Eric.
And then maybe next week we can start utilizing it or something. Something that nature.
Hey Eric, does that mean that you don't want next week to be best practices of live streaming featuring Chiren, Eric Wilson and Indy 8fish?
Oh, I absolutely do.
Oh,
I'm sure we could fit 10 minutes into there, maybe flipping through them real quick or just talking about what we're thinking. Because I'm going to do it. So if anybody would like to participate in that campaign, I guess.
Give it
that's
to us one more time. DAP a day.
DAP a day. And you choose a DAP that you use every day. Now you could, Tuesdays, I'm going to use DLive for my Tuesdays. I use it every day, but that's going to be my Tuesday day. And you just pick a DAP that you use each day of the week and you try them out. You kind of talk about your experience or what you want to, what you like about it. Something that you say, hey, I might use this more, or I don't think I'll use this because of this.
And hold on one second, Sean.
Yeah.
Only because I want to be respectful of our panelists who have given their time.
Of course.
And so and I see that Blessing has to go. I appreciate you guys coming on. If there was anything else that you guys want to say, as what we'll do as a show is just kind of continue this, wrap it up, promo the next one, and keep going. So panelists, we want to respect if you guys do have to go, to give
thank you again.
to do some closing statements.
We understand. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
You only have so much time. That's what my grandfather told me, and then he died. What? I'm serious. This isn't a joke. Or is it?
Well,
ESP. Hold on. These guys got to get going. So if they want to say something.
I'll jump in and say something then. I'll try and change the subject from that terrible joke.
I have issues.
You can thank me later. I just want to say that like the Steem blockchain just kicks ass, and the community on here is brilliant. And I think we have so much talent and potential to harness. Just from purely from the point of view from Oracle D. We're going to have big clients coming in, and we do have a couple already. Some of them are willing to pay in upvotes. If some of the services are far bigger than that, then some of them will be willing to pay direct in different cryptocurrencies, maybe even in Steem, for additional services. Yeah. So, for example, we can hook you up with ICOs. We're in touch with a lot of big exchanges, and they're all bringing ICOs through. And we do our due diligence. You guys could do yours, but you could maybe have them on the show, and there might be some sort of fees involved, or upvotes involved, or support involved in some way. So there's opportunities here to have you guys. And the great thing is that things like this, I know that you guys won't shill a coin. You'll ask honest questions about a coin, and this is a great thing. This is something we always tell our clients. Look, you might pay for the services, but these people are volunteering, and there's no bias to what they do. They will basically, we've sort of found a couple of problems with different clients' solutions. So one of our clients had one of their white papers that they wanted to keep private publicly on their blockchain, and our writers, when they were doing their research, found this and let the client know, right? And it's like, so there's balances and things like this, right? So there's all sorts of opportunities coming up. We are traveling to Indonesia. We're traveling to Boston tomorrow to present for Steem. We're going to meet both presidential candidates for next year. They both want to run on a blockchain ticket, so we're going to be trying to get good relationships with them, and then bring people from inside the Steem blockchain to that project to hopefully develop for some sort of more open governmental programs. Let's say we're going to Athens in Greece to present a decentralized 18, and we'll all be basing our discussions on Steem and what we can do for people to bring them onto the Steem blockchain and solve their problems on the Steem blockchain. So it's just exciting times, lots coming up, and we look forward to speaking to you more in the future and seeing what happens together, because there's going to be loads of good stuff, I think.
So Matt, would you say you're shipping up to Boston? Nobody
What's
got
that?
it? You're
I got
shipping
it.
up to Boston?
Oh, I got it.
The song, man. The
It's a
song.
Dropkick
Oh man,
song.
I missed it. Sorry.
That's
I'll
all right.
You
make
and
sure.
everyone else, man.
I'll make sure I drink enough to do some sort of dance like that in Boston.
So is anybody recording, live streaming the event, or what's going on with that?
The Token Fest is being live streamed by the Token Fest team, so you can go to Token Fest website. It's you'll find it at the top of all the searches, and I understand that Steemit Inc. is also doing some sort of video recording while they're there.
Is there anybody from DLive that's going to live stream it?
Not that I'm aware. However, we have a list of all the users in the Boston area because we Steam SQL dumped it, sorted by Steam Power. So if any of you know any users are on Steam DLive in the local area, there's obviously an opportunity for them to come along.
Andrarchy
I don't know
upvote.
what the deal will be with tickets or not. But if any of you know someone, this is a beautiful thing about Steam. You know, one of the things that we're going to do, we can't be at every blockchain event, right, to market our company and what we do. But we can essentially harness the skills of all the users all over the world to go to events and maybe pay for their tickets, you know, and train them how to sell our company and bring that new investment in and then give them a cut of the profits. And so this is something we could do here with TokenFest. If there's anyone in DLive that wants to come and live stream it, then get in touch with us, you know, and we'll try and sort something out as soon as we can. Certainly Andrarchy is probably a good person to get in touch with as well, because he's going to be at TokenFest as well. But yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
I guess I'm not familiar with anybody from the Boston area. All I can really think of is New York people. But I would definitely help sponsor somebody that would go. If somebody's from DLive and wants to stream it to DLive, yeah, I'd absolutely help with that. You know,
so would I.
could.
I would, yeah. If they're in the Boston area and they want to come and stream, I would pay a certain amount of money for a day of their work. Yeah, definitely. And if they can stream it and make decent quality content, then everyone wins.
Sometimes just these open convos and a little bit of spitballing is where great ideas come from, you guys.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Exactly. So can I just ask you guys what your are you the team here and you meet every week, do you, to do this live stream, or what's the crack with that?
John, you oh man,
does anyone know?
It is a good question.
So I initially just put out a pitch to do a simulcast show on DLive to benefit Steam and the community, because that was one of the things when I got started that I kept hearing and seeing, and I also wanted to do a show where we can use breakout groups and things like that. So like everyone on their stream would show a different video a week, or you know, just experimenting with everyone being able to come in here, being able to manage a live audience in a conference room, but then also be able to individually broadcast out stuff. And so all of our simulcasters have different takes and different lower thirds and different ways to show their upvotes and bring in the chat and things like that. So it's really that. And then, you know, my business partner on here, SG Endeavors, came on and was talking to us about, well, what's your broader purpose? And so I think we're tackling that. And we started with SMTs. This is really our first attempt, or our first one where we had like an opening and we had panelists and things like that. We've had people just kind of jump on the pile and come in and say hello. But this is our first one. So we're doing SMTs next week. We're going to do best practices of live streaming, and then we're going to close out with universal basic income at the end of September. And then really I think it'll be different from there, because every time we have another episode or another show, new people come on and give their input and kind of take it where everyone wants it to go, or take it where they want it to go on their portion.
Right. It constantly evolves.
Yep. Yeah, I'd say the majority.
Sorry.
No. I'd say the majority of it is you know, educational focused with like a hint of bullshit, you know, and like not like bullshit, like bullshitting, not like nonsense stuff, but yeah, these people are.
Donaghu's right.
I mean, these guys are great, seriously, and it's been super fun having you guys on here and just exploring the Steem blockchain here as a group, and you know, having conversations about the stuff that we find and what's interesting, what's fascinating, what's not working, what, you know, and having, you know, meaningful debates even sometimes. It's fun, man. It's good stuff.
And are you guys from around the Steem blockchain for a long time? Are you new to it?
6 months.
I've been active since March. I started my account in last November.
Oh, Jinx, I'm sorry, I totally missed that. No, if you delete
This is Eric, and sometimes he goes off mute on Zoom and he talks to his live audience, and he does it on accident where we can hear.
I'm
Victor,
8 months old.
Yeah,
I'm 8 months old.
You have to be a subscriber to the premium content, right?
Look out for the Eric Wilson SMT coming at you soon.
Where's the premium? No, I'm a noob. I've started looking at this thing about 5 or 6 months ago, and I made one entry, and this is my 3rd week on here where I've connected with people that are clearly involved. I'm involved to the point where they're willing to have the simulcast, and they're streaming this, and we're all having a great communication, and I'm learning so much from real people, and I'm trying to figure it out. I'm a slow starter, a late bloomer, call it what you want. But this has been immensely helpful, and it's a good group of people that keep it real. And yeah, as he mentioned, it turns out, to be a learning experience and knowledge based, as well as some bullshitting. It's fun. It's cool.
It is. Yes.
Great way to learn this. And you've been helpful, and I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
There you go.
I think that's awesome, guys. And I just want to say what we've done with Oracle D took us months and months and months to work out, to sort of sit there and go, holy crap, this really works. Hold on a minute. We spent weeks kind of questioning it. And it's because we like you guys, right? I sort of started really hardcore about a year ago. And it took us a year to really work out what this was, Well, it took us about 6 months to really work out what it was, and then another 4 months to build a business plan on it. So it took us ages, There's no way I just got it. And we're still learning things today that we can do. And that's the beauty of it, actually. That one of my favorite things to do is speak to potential clients, because the amount of things that you can do on the Steem blockchain that you can't even think of right now until you actually get in a conversation with someone who's got a problem. It's like, all right, we can fix that for you as well, or we can potentially build something that serves you value, right? It's amazing, and I just think there's so much to come. I can't even. My mind explodes even thinking about what there is, and it's great to see there's groups like you, because this is where a lot of those ideas will come from. When people like you get together and have intelligent, well-measured conversations with guests who have got skin in the game, then all sorts are going to happen from this. So I'm very excited about this as well, and I'll certainly tune in on a regular basis to listen to this show from now, because I think it's fantastic. So thanks very much, guys.
Right on. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it, man.
I want to reiterate, and the commenter in the premium chat just said that wanted me to make sure to let you know that they want to see you on my show too, and I would like to reiterate that fact. I'd like to get an hour and a half with you and spitball with you. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm really excited about all the programs, or all the dApps I've been on, and I'm going to look into all of them more. And yours Absolutely. Is one that wasn't necessarily on my radar yet. So I really look forward to digging into that and chatting with you more on it.
Cool, it's been my pleasure. Yeah, I'd certainly make time. We'll be busy the next couple of days in Boston, but I guess sometime this weekend, maybe, if you're free, if you work on weekends.
We'll figure it out. I'm around. I'm always around.
That's cool. I look forward to it.
Always around.
Same as me.
For better or for worse. But as far as to answer your question from earlier, I think Patrick's the veteran here. But for me, I got into Steem the same way that a majority of early adopters did, and that's through their interest in cryptocurrency. If I'm going to invest in it, I want to find out what it is. If I'm making and losing money on it, and I want to know more about it. And eventually it just made sense for me to make the transition over, at least try it out. Went hot and heavy, homesteading kind of stuff, hiking and all that. And that was really like-minded stuff, off-grid stuff. That was all really popular at first. And then I was having trouble with the eSteem app. Blockchain wasn't working like I expected it to. I got out of the routine for 10 months, came back, found out about DTube, found out about DLive, got all in on DLive, been on here since end of December. And, we're creatures of habit. My habit for the last 9 months has definitely been DLive. But like I said, Patrick's he's the veteran, the crypto veteran around, I believe.
Yeah, I've probably been here just a little over 2 years.
He's the senior
on the Steem platform, so little time here now.
And you're looking younger by the day.
Yeah, indeed.
Is that what we've got to look forward to? We'll all get very beautiful looking. No, it's good to see the older people here as well, because like I'm also learning a lot as well. You know, I'm a year into this, and there's constantly things that I'm learning, and it's good. You know, if you're from the original back in the day, and you've probably made all sorts of errors that I'm about to start making, that you can maybe feed back in. Then I'll stay tuned and listen to what you've got to say from time to time, of course.
Cool.
Good stuff.
Anyone else? Abdul or Victor? Victor, I saw you try to turn on your camera for a minute there. We saw you for a second. How about you?
I was trying to see how I look.
Well, you only kept you didn't keep it on for that long, but I was hopeful.
Well, there's no power in Nigeria right now.
Yeah.
So I don't think you'll be able to see me. But let me try it again.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Okay. Can you see me?
Yeah. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
Can I just say, so we've got a few people from the Promo Steam community from Nigeria. And those guys, they are so dedicated, right? The amount of times I've been on calls with people from Nigeria and they just started their generator because they've got no electricity, but they've got the generator running so they can get on the live stream or onto the call, you know, and these guys, like I know guys who've set up Steam Exchange, you know, they've got an exchange out there to get, because this is obviously a big demand for people getting into the Naira and out of Steam. There's people on Air Clinic who I'm close with as well. We're doing a bit of work with them, with Oracle D, and these guys are crazy. You know, they're running generators to get on the internet and build apps on it. You know, and I can't even barely put an app together myself. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing.
That is amazing.
And it's all over the world. You know, it's happening everywhere. There's people in all sorts of countries that have problems that the West wouldn't even be able to imagine, and they're doing. They're so productive and they're doing amazing stuff, man. So it's great to work with those guys as well.
Steam has a huge Nigerian community, and they are doing their Steam Fest in Nigeria. I think coming next month. I think so. We have 3 moderators on our site. DLike from Nigeria. They are doing very well, putting their more than 100% to improve the things, and they have brought many people from Nigeria. We are very much appreciated by the community, which the way they are involved on Steam, especially promoting things, bringing new ideas. I think salute to Nigerian community for this.
Well, one of the things that interests me about communities in Indonesia, Nigeria, Venezuela, Philippines, they're kind of the main kind of big 4 or 5 that sort of come out to me. And there's so many talented people there. And because of the corruption within their governments, they don't have as many opportunities as they really deserve. And the great thing about blockchain is, as long as you've got access to an internet connection and a telephone,
boom,
you have banking, you have Steam, you can open Steam account.
Absolutely.
So now all of a sudden you're on the playing field, you're in the game, right? You're in the game. Now the difference is, from Oracle D's point of view, is that if we're trying to essentially bring in volunteers who are from these countries, who are literate, they're well-educated people, but they don't have opportunities, and we can bring them together with clients who are willing to pay or give them upvotes and rewards for the valuable work that they can create. I mean, it just levels up. And this is what blockchain is going to do to the world. This is, I don't know how much people have thought about this, but in my opinion, what will happen is that blockchain will provide opportunities now to all of these people that didn't have the opportunities before, and it will level the playing field. Unfortunately for the West, it probably means it will bring the salaries down a little bit, but it will also homogenize a lot of other salaries across the world of people when it brings in those people who can now have the opportunities that they didn't have before. And that's something that Oracle D is really focusing on, because I think it's going to change everything. You know, the fact that we can now create our own money and run businesses and reward volunteers, and these volunteers can be anywhere in the world. You know, it changes everything. And yeah, it's one of the things I love doing as well is when you talk to people about this, who are in the traditional world of, I have to spend and lose. I have to spend money and I have to lose money. If I want to do a marketing campaign or create content or do a project,
spend and lose. It's like, no, well, now with Steam, you can get people in the developing world, and you can hold your own Steam, and you can do work for free. You don't have to spend anything, right? Exactly. And it's like, it's absolutely, and people, they go, you know, you have to tell them 3 or 4 times before they sort of go, right, so the tape, you know, it really is a flipping of the tables, you know, and I just love it. I love to try to explain to people. I love people's sort of brain sort of clicking into place and going, we really don't have to spend any money. We just hold Steam. Yes. It's like, holy crap, what can we do, you know? I just love it.
Starkers, Victor has a question for you. Give him a second.
Hi, Starkers.
Yes, Victor. How's it going?
Okay. I came on your Discord server about 3 weeks back, and I think I was told that they don't accept new entrants or something like that. So I don't know. Do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah. So it's a bit unfortunate at the moment because we're new and we're just setting everything up. So we're focusing on the setup. We don't have enough clients. So what we did is we went around the blockchain and found people who we knew who were good quality writers, who we knew could do a good job. And we have 60 in the blockchain in our community who are high quality professional writers. And we have a couple of clients on board, and we get in work here and there. But the problem is if we bring in more users, more writers, then we will reduce the amount of rewards we can give per writer. So in the initial phases, we have to be very careful because we have to make sure that we incentivize the writers that we've got at the moment with enough money to justify them doing 3 or 4 hours of work on a blog. And so if we bring in everyone who wants to be involved, we end up diluting the rewards pool for the writers who we have already. Now, this is very early phases, and there's 2 things we're going to do. One is we have to go out and win the work, right? We have to actually go out and speak to people, which is what we're doing at Token Fest, what we're doing in Indonesia, it's what we're doing in Athens. And the other thing is that we have to do a cull. So if there's any of our writers who aren't performing, or any of our writers who aren't blogging on a regular basis, because we have clients that we need to satisfy, then we have to approach them and say, look, either fix this problem or we have to remove you from the system to bring in people such as yourself who may be more value-added people who actually want to do the work and want to seize the opportunities. So we haven't had time just yet because we're just super busy setting everything up and finishing the interface off. But basically, yeah, we have to look into that, Victor. And if you go to the website, there's a place where you can write and you can apply, and it just sort of lists your skills and things like that, and what you do, what you know, what your social media presence is. And then we'll take a look at those as time goes on. And as we lose writers or as we remove writers or as we get more clients in, we'll bring new people in.
Okay, I think that's all right, but I think you're missing out on a lot of people that are content creators.
I agree. I understand, and it's no like we're not trying to be exclusive to people. We're not trying to like exclude people, but we have to be careful that if we don't have the clients and we bring in too many writers, no one will get paid anything, right? So we will keep an eye on this, and it is of course of high importance that we bring in the highest quality content creators. We also have a training program that we're developing with Promo Mentors, and it's kind of, you know, how you write high quality SEO, how you post on Medium, because we don't just post on Steam, we post on all of the social media, and we can reward on the Steem blockchain if you post on other social media. You just have to provide the evidence. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities, and Victor, like I know that there's a lot of people that are trying to come in, and what I want to say to that is it might be 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 months till we really get going. You know, this is early days, so just be patient, and we will bring people in as we grow.
Okay, thank you for that.
I got ask another poll type question. Who went on Steemit today and read blog entries from like the hot or trending pages? Those are the start pages. I'm just curious. I'm not going to judge anyone or anything like that. Who read a couple of blog entries on Steemit?
I doubt people read these days. They don't read.
Okay. This is one of the things everyone's on. Not everyone, but a lot of people are on Steam for the money and not.
Oh yeah,
I'm for consuming the content. You know.
I think you and I are on the same page there.
I went on DLive and saw who was broadcasting.
And that is it's like he just said, not everybody reads these days. Okay, what he said is nobody reads. But yeah, I mean, and that's a fact, is that more people are consuming their information via video and podcast. And it would seem that the less people are reading. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's a fact, whether you like it or not.
One of this is a problem that Oracle D has, right?
There's
because
some truth to that, right?
We're only valuable because our clients see that our blogs are being read by lots of people. Right? Sure. If our blogs aren't being read, then why pay for the blog? You know, even if it's the most beautiful blog in the world, it's the most spectacular blog, if no one's read it, its value is zero. Well,
and
you know.
And it's interesting because just today there's something that showed up, and it might be 2 days old. I think I read it in Hotter Trending. And it would basically, it used that word exclusive as sort of a smear. And what it was doing is it was arguing for content popularity rather than quality of content. And this is one of those things that's always going to be in the balance. I mean, it's the old notion of this is nothing new, popular versus talent. You know, go look at the bands on the radio or go watch what's on TV. It's always going to be in the balance. You know.
Yeah, you're right. There is a balance there.
Yeah, but I think it's scary to me when you talk about, well, people that are creating content that is or are arguing for quality of content and ignoring the fact that these other things seem to bubble to the top. And where's the content there? You can't point at it and go, it's obviously quality. It's just something about it.
See, can I just one quick comment here? Sorry, I'm talking a lot, so I'm just cautious that I'm not speaking too much. One of the things that I feel Steam is in jeopardy of becoming, if it doesn't take this into account, what you're talking about, is that essentially, rather than it becoming a quality content platform that gets read, it becomes a content platform that people are chasing whale votes. And it's like, as long as I get my whale vote, I don't care if anyone reads my content, right? And that in itself is destructive to the platform, because it is essentially a leak of value off the platform as those people who get the votes sell their Steam into the market. What we need to do, the way I see it, is that if the blog being created, it might be amazing, but it means nothing if no one's willing to pay more for that blog than is being distributed in rewards. If what the blog is worth in Steam rewards is $10, let's say, and a client or an external user has paid effectively $12, be it directly or indirectly for that blog, there is a net demand for the Steam price, and then we have a stable, sustainable platform. If we're getting $9 for a $10 upvoted blog, or at the moment, which is most cases, $0, right? It's a leakage of value off the platform. And it's my firm view that we don't have to make that completely, that's not a big thing. It's just that we need to have enough businesses operating on the blockchain in order to make everyone else sustainable. Because it will, as the businesses grow, they will allow anyone to blog anything they like, and they can still remain sustainable, even though all they're doing effectively is taking money off the platform.
I did have a question for you if you have a little bit more time, Starkers. You mentioned checking into how often you're getting views. Have you had, or Oracle D had any consideration for running your own condenser that would let you firmly track what posts are getting the most views, or even along that lines, partnering with somebody like Jarvie, who runs Steam Peak, and utilizing their view counts to see about getting better metrics for your businesses?
Yeah, that's a very interesting point. I'll tell you what we do right now, because we don't just post the Steem blockchain. We share links all over the internet, and we create blogs all over the internet, and we upvote on Steam as people document that they've done that. And I have to go through manually and count the shares and retweets and likes and everything like that, right? So if there is a service or a function on the Steem blockchain that solves part of that problem, then it would be very much appreciated. So I'll say Steam Peak is the new publishing platform, right? So you can publish your blogs with Steempeak and they give you stats.
Yeah, and tell me what you mean by condenser. I think I have an idea of it. I think we spoke about this last time, but tell me what you mean by condenser. Is that a visual display of information that
Yeah, the condenser is essentially just the way that you can pull the blockchain data and display it on there. So essentially, Steempeak acts as a condenser, or even DLive to a certain example is a condenser to that content platform.
Right on.
So I would like to kind of add to that, as far as what was brought up with what's trending and have we read a blog? Like, we're all on the blockchain for different reasons, so we're all going to have our different interests. I'm not gonna chase blogs that I'm not interested in. If somebody wants a blog about disc golf, I'm going to read on that. But I'm mostly on DLive because that's where I choose to be. As far as you're gonna find what you're looking for. So if you're looking for issues with Steemit, you're gonna find it. You're gonna find plagiarism. You're gonna find trending articles that are only there because of 100 SBD that they bought in promo bots. So that's the reality. So the question is, you find your tribe, you find your community, and you support and promote the community. So if you want to be part of something that's positive and build up and build value to the blockchain, that's your prerogative. If you want to help point out issues with the blockchain, that's your prerogative. But for me, it really is, I don't have time to worry about the plagiarists. If they come across my screen, I'm downvoting them. So that's what I can do. And then I move on. I might even give them a follow. And then when they pop up again, I'll downvote them again. I'll follow them just to downvote them. I'm not above that. But that's what we can do. That's all we can do. We can do what we can do. So I really want, and as far as something was said earlier, as far as Steemit being clunky, or I don't want to paraphrase wrong, but basically, I think he said it earlier. Andrarchy, and I don't know how to pronounce it, but he said it earlier. We're not focusing on the front face of Steemit. We're trying to focus under the hood. And basically, he didn't say it, but what I was hearing was, we're giving you we're building the canvas for you. We're stretching that cloth over the frame. Here's your paint. That's how I see it. So they definitely, they mined it Steem early. So it's in their best interest for the blockchain to become more valuable. And that's their gift to us, to pass it on, to let us run with it. And like Jarvis said on my show 2 weeks ago, it's not in his best interest for Steemit to focus on that right now. It's not in his best interest. He wants something that's going to be different. He wants, Steempeak is awesome. I go to Steemit only out of habit. But when I think about it, I'm like, Steempeak, what am I doing? So you do that. So really, you find what's positive, you find what you like, and you do your thing. And ESP, one thing that I really see with you, and I've mentioned it before, was I think that you can prove value to the whales and to the people with Steam Power that you are only supporting quality content. And like I said before, I really feel that once you figure out what you want to do on the blockchain, I think that you'll find a lot of people that have stake, as in Steam Power, in the blockchain. They will see you as a positive addition to the blockchain. So support you with delegation and support you with a curation trail, to where what you support is going. They're confident that what you support is an addition, a positive addition to the blockchain.
Well, and I appreciate your honesty, and it always helps to remind me that never mind my sort of predilection or my leanings, my tendencies. There's a bunch of tribes. It's the internet.
Yep.
And that's a great reminder. I need that. So mainly I appreciate your honesty, but I get some encouragement when you say what you just said. So thank you again.
Oh, the fact that you take it so seriously, I think I don't want to speak for you, but I think where you might find yourself on the blockchain is being, a curation trail. People will start following you, and when you upvote something, they give a certain percentage of their vote, or they'll even just give you delegation to say, hey, I support what you're doing, have a bigger upvote, reward people that deserve it.
Right.
Because a lot of people, anybody that's good is busy on the blockchain. So you really got to be focused and centered on how you're going to do it and what you want to do. And you know, you find people that support that and appreciate that, and you're going to find that support. I guarantee it. You just gotta grind and do where you fit in, you know, and run with it.
True that.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I struggle with on the blockchain is how many goddamn opportunities there are, and choosing to spend your time on the one that you think is the most valuable. It took me months to sort of work out, because there are at least 4 or 5 things that came up for me that I wanted to go and work on today. You know, I was like, I want to go. But I sort of said to myself, no, hold on. Just wait for a few months, and try and work out what you really are passionate about. And it comes, you know.
Yeah. I'm on year and a half, Matt. I'm on year and a half, and I still don't know what the hell I want to do here.
Okay, so
seriously.
There's more than 1 or 2 people in here that have perhaps been accused of being overthinkers. I think there's a TED Talk about this. It's the paradox of choice. I mean, we all want a bazillion choices, but we tend to do better. And you mentioned the word focus, Eric, and grind. You also mentioned. You know,
we only have so much time.
There you go. Exactly.
You got to be productive or not. You know, you don't have a choice.
Right.
Yeah. And also, for me, I want to create content that, for instance, takes longer to create. Being a journalist in the background, you know, there's all sorts of long forms things that I think about. Like I started writing something about Kavanaugh and that whole thing. I used to have a campaign finance blog, so I'm big on getting money out of politics. And so there's so many things that like I'd love, because it's been a long time since I've done the writing portion of journalism. You know, I always think about it, and I start doing a little bit, and then I'm like, what am I doing? I'm putting in, you know, an hour to several hours probably, because I want to source and get several sources, right? Do it right. And then it's like, what, I'm going to put it on there. And let's be honest, I've done political stuff in the past, and it's going to get maybe a few cents. I mean, it's just not what trends on Steemit. So it's like, it kind of forces me to look for freelancing jobs and that sort of thing, where that would be one of the things. If I had my way, that would probably be the majority of what I streamed about. I'd probably have a new streaming show or something like that. And I would definitely be posting more blog material that was like that. So I definitely feel like I don't do trending, but I definitely follow my feed a lot. And I've got a wide range from, you know, poetry contests to news feeds to just to things that I don't agree with. You know, the people, you know, doing the Alex Jones thing or the conspiracy theorists. I keep an eye out on them too. Like I think it was Gone Rogue talking about, or no, maybe it was Eric. It was Eric following stuff just to downlike it. That's kind of my role too. I'm like, I like complaining. So, you know, I'm getting my comments in on people's, you know, weird posts and stuff. So, you know, I try and hit it everywhere, but I definitely
for what it's worth, I do believe at least one of them, if not both of them, now are using fair use.
Okay.
And I think Rob Gibson I think that is a guy from InfoWars that's restreaming it.
They are, yeah.
So,
yeah. Which is
at
that's
first,
perfect.
and see, that's what's the beauty about the blockchain is somebody came out right away and said something about it too. And I'm not following it. I don't know, but from my understanding is one guy was complaining about it, downvoting him, and then and I think it might have been even Johnny Clearwater or somebody said, look, dude, this is fair use. You can use it, but you're not doing it in a fair use way. So they went and did it in the fair use way. And then you'll start seeing them post about fair use, you know, InfoWars or whatever.
Can I get your opinions on something? Something that's always confused me.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's lots of bloggers and content creators. There are a lot of them obviously are struggling with this shadow banning issue that's going on. For example, Alex Jones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing that interests me is why on earth hasn't there been like a massive personality come to Steem? Because Steem is free speech, right? It documents your free speech on the blockchain. It is the only platform that does that, and yet everyone seems to go across to Gab or Minds because they run on free speech, right? But they're not actually free speech; they're still centralized. And and the other thing that annoys me is why don't Gab and Minds develop their platforms on the Steem blockchain?
And I think that would be, sorry, Matt. And I think that would be a test to the Steem blockchain, actually, because there is, you know, a sense of centralization in Steem in the blockchain. It's not completely decentralized, but it would test that if those people did come over and you know, as many viewers as they did get, or whoever they did bring over, it would be a stress test, if you will.
Here's my 2 cents. Steam, and I mentioned this last time, probably twice I've been on here before, and I haven't talked about this without saying infancy. So sorry, there it is. You know, and the other thing is that you're probably a bit of a nerd if you got here at all, because maybe one of the word that brought you was blockchain. But you know, so maybe it wasn't your nerd tendencies so much as the buzzword draw of the term blockchain. So, but there's just a lot more in terms of conventional use of the internet. A YouTube or a Facebook just has shit tons more draw at this point. Steam's in its infancy, and so I've got an entire list. I could go on and on here. Malcolm Gladwell, Dave Rubin, Chris Hedges, Stephen Molyneux, Paul Hawken, Noam Chomsky, Ron Paul, Ralph Nader, Paul Gilding, Jeremy Rifkin. All these people I think should move to blockchain-based platforms when it comes to serving up various type of media, whether it's written form, whether it's video form. But we're not going to see a move there until we get past this infancy stage. That's my guess.
Yeah. What would you consider in the infancy stage? Like, why would they perceive it as infant?
Well, because the conventional approach is you're going to get 20 times or 100 times more viewers on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah. So
right. That's what I
got it.
In terms of adoption. I'm not talking in terms of potential or in terms of technology, just in terms of adoption. Right.
Totally. So they're putting their outreach before the principles of what I think Matt is trying to get of, and that is the free speech. So that's maybe that's in its infancy, right?
One of my ideas to combat this was, and I never had time to do, and I'd love to do it, was to start just creating accounts in these people's names without asking them, right?
Steemit probably already has them parked. They have a lot of accounts parked, right, Patrick?
I'm not necessarily saying using the exact same names, but I'm just using similar names if you can, right? Start reposting all of these people's content to Steemit. You make $1,000, $2,000.
I'm not going to do that.
It says right on there, look, this is not Joe Rogan. We're just trying to get him to come to the blockchain.
Right. And that's the thing. Okay, so
if people don't value it, they can downvote it.
The beautiful day comes when you've got, say, $10,000 worth of Steam in your account, and you can go to Joe Rogan's blog and say, "Hey, Joe Rogan, there's $10,000 here waiting for you. What are you waiting for? It's yours. Here's the keys."
Great idea.
Absolutely. So that has some possibility, actually, when you talk about it that way. But you know what I was thinking is maybe just posting a list of people that should come from there and move over here. But I can't, in good conscience, until things get a little bit better on Steemit, seeing as it was a proof of concept for the interface, and the real magic is the platform on the back end. I can't, in good conscience, tell a bunch of people to come over if it's being treated more like a casino than it is a place where you could see great content.
Well, and you won't be able to convince them to do it anyways, because the content creation won't be there for the mass audience. We're all people here. We're creators. We're,
right.
What we should be doing is we should be asking Gab, Minds, and Facebook to build, instead of them building their own blockchain solutions, we should be saying to them, look, consult with us. We will build Steam into your platforms.
Yeah, I mean, Gab's already been threatened by Microsoft Azure. I mean, that their servers were going to be, shut down or whatever. So they've already been threatened by the centrally controlled infrastructure that they're under, right? So
you're doing something right.
You would only think that they would move over and try and test these other blockchains for sure.
Yeah, I can only agree with everything that's been said. I act as a DLive ambassador, and so I've reached out to a few content producers from YouTube for different channels, and that's essentially what I've been told for the reasons they've not made the jump over is the outreach is just not the level that they feel comfortable bringing their content over. even when I've offered to manage their content where they don't have to do anything other than give me permission to repost it. But unfortunately, they just don't find the reach at this level to do that.
And this is where the next step is. Is there someone willing to just do it for them without asking them? And then if they come for a copyright issue, well, you can see how much money was made on the thing. So you could do it anonymously as well. Mm-hmm. So there'd be no risk. You just do it and then say to them, hey, you can get 90%, you know, give me a little cut for my time. But there's $5,000 or there's 10 grand. Come and take it. It's yours. It's your content. And that'll get their attention then. You know?
Or shit, I'll keep working for you, producing this content, running but you can be, you know, behind it now. Damn, I like that idea. I need to start people to sign up.
You could run 15 accounts. You could run 15 accounts just on your own, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We should have it. This is the thing, like promotion, right? Promotion of the Steem blockchain and clever ways of doing it.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to coordinate because there's so many like ideas and people that want to do their own things. And this is why we did Promo Steem, because we want a promoting arm of the Steem blockchain, because we see that Steemit Inc. haven't been massive on promoting Steem. Now, we're not sure why, and I'd probably talk to Andrarchy when I see him in Boston about this a bit more, but I'm not sure why Steemit Inc. haven't really gone hardcore in promoting. It's nice to see them at the Token Fest, yeah. But because I think their philosophy
the oil needs changed, the spark plugs need replaced. I mean, we got a little thing to start doing before we put it on the market, I feel.
Maybe that's why. But also, I also like their philosophy of it's a decentralized community. So we shouldn't be steering it too much. We should let the community build it itself.
Yep.
But now the community's got to get organized and start promoting this blockchain. And regardless of whether Steemit Inc. do it or not is irrelevant. We as a community need to work out how to promote this blockchain in the right way and do it in a coordinated fashion. And try and get delegation into that so that we can pay the people that do the great promotion work. You know,
I'd like to make two really quick points. One, the benefit if you were to run an account for somebody and you uploaded their content and things like that, that's only a good thing because that money is only going to get spent if they come to the blockchain. So at that point, it's kind of worth it. But until then, you're kind of stashing it away and it's not getting cashed out. You know, and in a way, it's kind of supporting it a little bit too. And then my other point was somebody in my comments said their YouTube account gets unlocked in a week or two. They're just going to stream DLive content to it. They're going to like go, you know, like basically do what I do with live curation, only just do live curation of DLive on YouTube. Be like, here, take that. Because they've had issues with YouTube already and they're just like, all right, fine, whatever. I'm going to promote DLive on YouTube.
Yeah, it's like things like, for you know, these super chats on YouTube live streams, right? It's like, could we get like 40 or 50 Steemians to turn up to someone's live stream and each put a $10 super chat in with a link saying Steemit's better than this platform or something, you know? And then they have to read it out.
Well, and that's what you guys are fleshing out. And the thing is, I get too wordy sometimes, but really that's what I would like to see is I would like to see the people who are, in spite of the fact that they're doing because it's more conventional, because it has more adoption, that they're doing well economically, I'd like to see people move to places that have better business models, better governance, and they're just really, in terms of the principle, better platforms. I'd love to see that. I don't know how it's going to happen. That is not what the forces of capitalism tend to do. The forces of capitalism go maximize profit wherever, you see what I'm talking about? But boy, I would love to see that.
I think what, you know, I would say my biggest point of this whole conversation is to not focus on Steemit because Steemit is largely garbage.
Correct.
But that's because they're working on so much in the back end of just like he said, of trying to give the protocol, the infrastructure, the architecture for people to build what they want. So it's in, like I said, it's in their best interest to make it better. Steemit is junk. I'm mostly on DLive. And when I do browse, I'm getting out of the habit of using it because Steem Peak is so much better. And that's what they want. They want, if something's better, put it out there, let the community decide if it's better and it's going to be utilized or stagnate. And that's where I think SMTs are really going to put people apart. And to Matt's point about bringing value to the blockchain, the SMTs that are only cashing out the value aren't going to be very valued. the ones that bring a lot of value to the blockchain are. So it's going to be a bigger test for the SMTs than Steemit in general. It's definitely going to be a bigger test because anybody can come up with an SMT, but if it's not providing value to the blockchain, then it's going to wither on the vine.
It's actually going to be very interesting to see, because I think a few whales, they essentially support their communities because they have so much steam, right? And a lot of them they want to release their SMTs and make another fortune, and they'll initially buy their own token to drive demand. But if they carry on with the way that they're carrying on in the way that they do on Steem, then their token will very quickly devalue regardless of how much they've purchased. Because if they're not creating a demand for that token, it is not sustainable.
Well, and I'm not the guy that follows people to downvote them, but I need to see people that are doing stuff that's not productive or worse, harmful. I need to see them fail. And it's not because it's not out of animosity. It's because I believe in meritocracy.
Yes.
Sorry, that's the kind of person that I am.
Well, I downvote people who eat fritters while they're talking on a live.
Okay. Yeah. What the hell? I probably shouldn't talk with my mouth full. Go ahead.
There is something to be said for downvoting as well, and I've focused on what Eric said in regards to staying on the positive and just focus on building positive things. However, as I've become more mature steaming, let's say, and I've become more and more annoyed with some of the shit that goes on the platform that we can't seem to get rid of. As time goes on, I start to see that downvoting is actually a very, very valuable thing. And basically, what we should be doing really is, say, putting 10% of our wealth into a private, anonymously, into a downvoting bot that goes around and downvotes all this crap, so that we can try to control the rubbish that's on the blockchain. There are some people doing that, but they're either not getting delegated to, or it's just not enough to combat the crap. And it really is a valuable thing. It's just like a tax we should all pay, in a sense, a voluntary tax. That just you have to appreciate that there needs to be some downvoting to regulate some of the crap on the platform.
Yep.
I think I would put my support behind a downvote bot SMT, basically downvoting anything that destroys the value of Steem.
Yeah.
And obviously that's subjective, so don't throw darts at me, but I'd support that.
I think
an anonymous way of downvoting people.
These are two crucial features that now that we've got them, it's hard to remove them. And so now you're looking to remedy them in some way. And so when I say two crucial features, the one you guys are talking about now is downvoting. But the other thing is this thing that tends to move a democracy towards an oligarchy, which is basically weighted voting. Rather than one person, one vote, now the degree to which you're economically have a greater portion, you have a greater say. That moves something that's more democratic, and they're both synthetic systems, right? An oligarchy, I talked about this before, is a type of thing that a democracy devolves into when you've got a centralized, what's that? When you've got a group with more power than the others, it's not really a democracy anymore. So democracies tend to devolve into oligarchies. And a particular type of oligarchy is plutocracy, where those with the wealth are the ones who have the share of power. But this isn't the way it plays out in the real world. If I go to a restaurant that I don't like, I don't downvote the restaurant. I might go on Yelp these days, or historically I might have told my friends and neighbors about it, don't go there, but I don't need to downvote it. I just don't go back. So this is a little bit of an anomaly. It's a new thing in the modern world where you can downvote anything this way in the system. Mostly what you do is you tell other people not to go there, and you just don't go back, and they go out of business. You really don't need to downvote anything.
But that doesn't happen on Steem, because you can never lose your Steem tokens. So what happens, for example, a good example of this is where you have a guy 8 months ago taking a flight, taking photos on the flight out the window of the same damn view, posting it and upvoting it himself till he paid for his own flight with like 25 photos. Yeah, that is called rewards pool rape. And I have people who are actually working to add value to the blockchain, and they can't get paid as much because this guy is more concerned about paying for his own flight. Yeah, and that needs downvoting. for example.
Victor had, and Victor's in here. This is
Wait.
Victor's first live show as well, and he also is laughing at some of our comments and things like that. So I know he's having a good time. But he said, is Steam Cleaners in charge of downvoting? Do you guys, who is aware of them and what they do?
Yeah, I'm very aware of them. Our project had a few valuable inputs from them, let's say, over the last few months, because of course it's very hard to control plagiarism. So some people want to plagiarize, and some Steam Cleaners, they go around and they check, and they try to make sure that there is not plagiarism happening. Some of them are excellent at finding plagiarism. It's not official, it's voluntary, and they have a delegation that they can use to support their people. However, I also understand that because of the Steam price drops recently, Steam Cleaners is becoming incredibly unsustainable because they just can't afford to pay for their people anymore because of the Steam price. So it's actually a bit of a shame. At the same time, Steam Cleaners also does lots of general judgment, right, based on algorithms or based on general rules, and there's lots of nuances that they haven't accounted for yet. And this is another problem with decentralized communities, where you have the plutocracy and free market and meritocracy discussion, because a lot of these things you either have to have massive manpower resource to judge them properly, as Steam Cleaner generally do a good job of, but every now and again they get it wrong. And I guess it's just like you say, is Steam ready yet? Is it ready? Are we mature enough yet? And the answer to a lot of those questions is no, because we need to still develop. And because it's the first time this has ever been done, these decentralized communities, there's so much for us to learn. I'm talking a little bit long here, but we have the Steam Ambassador program with 67 Steam ambassadors, right? We have about 3,000 users that post to promote Steam over the course of about, say, a 3 or 4 month period. And I can't review all that work, right? So I have to rely on those 67 Steam ambassadors to review that work and upvote it. And there's still corruption within that, right? And then it's a kind of case of, well, I'm actually working with the University of Cyprus at the moment, and we're going to try and work out a way to decide, okay, if it's a humanitarian disaster and we want to provide transparent distribution of rewards based on what the community wants, we can do that with Steam. But to what extent do we decentralize that? How centralized? Because of course you can't just say, oh, everything should be decentralized, because then, you know, if you haven't got educated people running the system, you end up with the tyranny of the majority, right? And so there's certain cases where the tyranny of the majority is excellent, but there's certain cases where it's not. And this is the first time in history with these decentralized communities that we are now experimenting and finding out via poor experiences sometimes exactly what works in what situation. And what's going to be great in the next few years is if we can get some corporations or some sort of private money involved in funding which type of communities are applicable to which situations, and in order to reduce this plutocracy issue, in order to minimize the risk of suffering from the tyranny of the majority as well. It's completely new. It's cutting edge. It's never been done in human history before. And we are here right now. And this is what we're going to be working on, you know, over the next few years. And we're going to essentially become the leading people in the world on decentralized communities, because that's what Steemit is, right? Steemit is the most decentralized kind of craziness going on the internet at the moment. Although some might argue it's centralized, which I understand as well. But we are here to build these decentralized communities, and we're going to get them wrong. We're going to get them wrong over and over and over again until we start to sort of get better and work out what type of community works for what type of application. And that is, you could do a doctorate in that. That's a whole subject on its own, you know. And projects are going to fail because they choose the wrong type of distribution. They go a bit too egoistic or a bit too decentralized, maybe. Or some projects will go too centralized. So, for example, some projects have got one curator, right? They've got 1 million Steam Pile, they've got one curator, right? Well, now it's like, how can you distribute all that Steam? How have you got enough eyes to see all the value? You haven't. So what you're going to end up doing is a plutocracy where you vote for your mates, right? But then the other question is, if you have it too decentralized, you lose control. So now you can see all the value, but now you're going to end up distributing too much of the value to too many unvaluable people, right? And it's like, what type of training do you need to give people? How many people need to vote for one piece of content before it gets upvoted by the main pot? How many curators do you need? Is there a ratio between the amount of people producing producing content, to the amount of curators that you need, to the amount of Steam that you have. You know, what all these questions need answering. And I don't know, someone's going to come up with a formula at some point, but I don't know what it is at the moment.
My input is that if we have to solve this, everyone of us can talk a lot on Steam being a centralized, but I think it's time before SMT launching that Steam should separate itself as an organization from Steemit. It will help to give level playing field to all the dApps which are being developed on Steem blockchain. So it's time for Steam as an organization to separate itself from Steemit. Many good things are coming for Steemit as an overlay. Just we have spoken about Steam Peak and then Partico and then many things. That is an overlay, but they should consider it now. It's time before launching SMT. So it will give a level playing field to all the participants who are coming in as dApps developers and giving their time, energy, and money to Steam to develop Steam as a blockchain rather than Steemit as an organization. So we should think, and I think we should contribute to spoke more about this, that this centralization can be converted into decentralization this way. If we separate two things, I think Steam should think about it before launching SMT, before going for Hive Minds and other communities. So my view that they should give a level playing field for all the dApps. Not necessarily we are talking that I come to Steam and I have not written any article today on Steemit, or I am very much dedicated to, I said, DLive, DTube. So why should I go and care for Steemit? No, it's my own choice what I do. As a Steem blockchain, every dApp should have his own opportunity to play and give them their users what they want. I think so. I can explain it even in further better level where you can think about giving everyone what they need instead of forcing that you should do this, you should do this. Does this mean that we are on a decentralized platform? I don't think so.
I think one of the things that would work regards to this issue is a standardized process and application process for delegation. So at the moment, I know that what happens is that Steemit, you know, they've helped a lot of projects, which is great, right? Don't get me wrong, it's fantastic. And the majority of what they've done is excellent. But they've also made a lot of strange mistakes. And I think part of it is because of the immaturity. I think what's happened is you've got a lot of young people with a lot of money all of a sudden. And so it's like, oh, we just do this. But in a lot of corporate environments, you have a process in place that makes things very procedural and very methodical. So with the Steem delegation process, in order to level the playing field, you should have a kind of Steemit Inc. should have really a separate board that decides on which projects get the delegation, and they are a public board and they're accountable to the community. And they also should have a process that you have to meet. So you have to agree KPIs on your project, right? So key performance indicators, and then your project has to report on those to prove that you are actually, we call it a return on delegation. So this is a new saying, right? How is your project going to make a return on the delegation it gets, and how long is that going to take, right? If you can do that, then you definitely add value to the community. So it's like, you've got $1 million worth of delegation, right? How long is it going to take you to bring $1 million in with what you're doing? And if you can't answer that, then you're essentially a distribution process. And you know, the projects have to work out, how are they going to give a return on a delegation? And Steemit needs to hold them to account and remove delegation if they're not performing. And that way you create competition between the projects, and you also create a level playing field, because now everyone can tender for delegation and everyone has to perform per set criteria that maybe the community votes on. I don't know.
And this is where the new tools and all their promise and potential may not solve these classic problems, because what you're talking about there is a form of centralization, you know, and the classic question is, who's going to watch the watchers, right? And those people in that unique position with their power, now we've incentivized how they use that power, which means it's prone to abuse. So again, you know, I mean, I hate to say there's no easy answers, but there will be answers eventually, I'm hopeful, but there's going to be a lot of groping towards them. There's going to be a lot of trial and error. And I love what you're saying, but it's prone to problems as well, is what I'm pointing out.
Let me give you a road path to a solution, because I completely agree with what you're saying, and I think there is a solution, but it's a little bit further down the line, right? The first thing that needs to happen is that we need to have a way of deciding who is a single person on the blockchain. So, you know, obviously, you know, some people have got 100 accounts, right?
Wow.
You can't have one account, one vote, right?
Wait, in corporate personhood?
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, there's 1.1 million accounts and 60,000 active users, right? So someone's got 100 accounts somewhere. Many people have.
But no one wants to do that in corporate personhood, because the very people that are benefiting from it are the ones that have the most power and want to keep it in place. It's different from any other sort of system that's failing or broken. There
what
are
you could do.
Mistakes. Go ahead.
What you could do is you could come up with a way of finding certain characteristics about an account that give you a 90% probability that this account is actually an individual person and it's real and it's regularly active, right?
Yeah.
And if people don't behave in that way, then they don't get included in what then the next step is a vote, right?
Sure.
How do we create a democratic vote on the blockchain that allows us to elect a centralized panel of people who can decide where the delegations go? And then you have accountability, right? It's still not perfect, it's still open to abuse, but it's far better than what we have now, which is essentially a plutocracy, which is where Steemit decide where the delegations go. And when you start looking at who they're delegating to, some of them are very, very questionable.
Are you familiar with user authority?
I am, yes, I am. And I think that is a step in the right direction. I think it's probably going to end up resulting in us being able to have one account, one vote. Although, yeah, I think that's a great initiative, and I think
and I was in a sense playing the anarcho-capitalist sort of
you have to
devil's advocate when I was talking about centralization in the way I was, because I think that we're going to more and more there's going to be more sort of a better understanding, more ubiquitous, basic knowledge as concerns decentralized systems. We're going to see more of them in various aspects of our lives, but we're not going to toss out centralization. It has some benefits. So the world is going to be a mixture to a greater degree of decentralized stuff, which you haven't seen much of in the past, with an understanding, as well as the centralized stuff that works, that we don't want to shed going forward. Right.
Yeah. See, go on.
Yeah. Thank you. I think and you know, you're a pretty smart dude, and you've done a lot of reading. You know your economic and your socioeconomic shit. Okay. So anyways, we know that. I mean, nobody's solved the governance problem yet. It's still an issue. It's
Governance
still
is an issue.
Yeah, it's still an issue with developers in Bitcoin. In everything else you can think of. But it gets us to think about different ways to solve governance, and that is where we're going to find the solution, right? Is in these different novel ideas. So it's an issue, but I think the majority of the community knows this, and we're trying out different things. Buy Bitcoin. That's right, dude. I couldn't agree more, Pat.
No, that's right.
Good shit, man.
Absolutely.
You weren't that guy, were you? Were you that guy?
I was not that guy.
I want to, you know, if there was no, in the beginning stages, the reason you got your whales now and the reason you got your early adopters was because there was some sort of belief that that's going to bear fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you don't have anything, if you're not going to reward the early adopters, you don't have a STEEM blockchain. And that's the whole basis of it. But also what you got to realize is the whales are becoming less of whales. You have high inflation that's just distributing it widely. And you also have a lot of people that, if you have a lot of steam power, other than just being a dickhead and cashing out everything you have, like some people do, but not everybody, it's in their best interest to see the blockchain succeed because they are so heavily vested in it. So I can understand when somebody who 6 months ago had $3 million worth of Steem suddenly has $300,000 worth of Steem, and they're saying, okay, what happened? They want to see it succeed just as much as the minnows do, as the plankton do, as the people with 15 delegated Steem power.
I'm in agreement with you.
They have, Acidio is a perfect example. I think he told me the other day he gets like 0.2% of the entire rewards pool. He says he has no intention of ever powering down. He just doesn't see it, doesn't think he's going to. He's here when Steem is an eighth of the price it was 6 months ago because he believes in the blockchain, and he's not rewarding people that he feel are just cashing out. He's the whales. It's in their best interest to add value to the blockchain, and they put their support. These are people that read the white papers, that are in ICOs. They're involved in it, and they're putting their weight and their Steem power. Yeah. They're delegating to these projects they believe in, and you're going to see what Steem is today is not going to be what it is in February. I think the bid bot issue is going to be solved slowly but surely, because to Matt's point on everything that Oracle's doing, they're going to add SMTs that are going to add value to it. People are going to delegate to those SMTs because the return on their investment is going to be higher than any bid bot can pay. And that's just the bottom line. That's what's going to happen. I'll put any bet on it. Anything you want to bet, I'll bet that.
This is one of my favorite things about Steem, and I hate it because it's lost me like $500,000 in the last 6 months. Yeah.
Well, way to go.
But I see past that. I'm in it for for more than that. I'm in it for the things that we can create. And one of the things I love about this circle jerking that the whales are doing, and many Steemians are doing, not just the whales, just the minnows, they're all trying to take money off the platform, right? And it's like, they're all thinking, how can I put as much Steem in my pocket as possible? What they don't realize is by thinking in that way, they devalue the price of the Steem more than the Steem that they made. Right. And it's like, so they're sitting there going, oh, I just made a load of Steem. Right, and then in 3 months later, they'll come to cash out and it's worth less than what it was when they started making it. Right. And when, like you said, Eric, when this mentality shift comes and people start delegating to projects that are actually bringing new money into Steem, that's when it changes. But until then, I don't know, right? I don't want to make out like Steem's amazing, right? It is a cesspool of bullshit at the moment in certain areas, right? And this way of thinking that you've just come to there hasn't been realized around the platform yet. It's still very short term. How can I put as much Steem in my pocket as possible? Well, and it's frustrating to watch.
Yeah, well, and I think for a lot of people that got in and tried this approach, I think they're lacking one of these basic sort of business lessons that you need to learn early on. And it's, are you in business to stay in business? Because every good business person is in business to stay in business. That's why the customer is always right. See what I'm saying?
That's long gone, ESP.
Or are you in business to take the money and run?
Dude, they see in quarterly windows, man.
But if right, but
3 month intervals, that's it.
Right. No, but yeah, well, and 3 month, even a 3 month interval, you still have to think ahead 3 months. But I mean, there's two basic approaches. You're either in business to stay in business and profit over time, or you're in business to take the money and run. And I'm not here to tell you which is inherently better or worse. It depends on a number of things. But that's generally the way most people would approach a business, given either ends of the spectrum. Yeah. And the take the money and run people are doing harm to the platform, and they're harming themselves, Starkers. And the people that, like you, that have taken a huge loss but are long term, you're the ones that understand the basic lesson. You're in business to do business, or else you got nothing. So.
Yeah, I look for at the moment. What we're doing is we're privatizing the gains and socializing the losses with the price drop. But as more projects start to bring value in, we will end up flipping that on its head, in my opinion, and we will end up socializing the gains and privatizing the losses.
Right on.
But that's something that needs to happen on Steem. That's what Steemit is really, as far as I can tell. It's a way we can make it into a tool for socializing profits and privatizing losses to the people who are exploiting the blockchain.
But at the moment, it's the other way around, right? There's definitely whales taking enough money off there to live very well, whilst keeping hold of their main Steem holding, and it's not necessarily adding value to projects yet.
Well said.
But like you say, because the price is going down, everyone's feeling the pain, and it's like, when's this moment going to come when everyone goes, shit, we need to support the projects who are bringing profits in?
Yeah, and I think a lot of that will come, especially with what Abdul said about Hive Mind, and then with the SMT process being done, launched, and implemented, and there's so many other ones too, like BB token and just people that weren't able to come in here tonight to share their project. So I'm just glad to have everyone here and have such a vibrant conversation around. Yeah, I always put the title in, SMTs and the future of the Steem blockchain, or something in the future of the Steem blockchain, because inevitably we talk about the current state and how to make it better, and that's why we keep coming in. And so that's what I like about this show, is that we're always trying to look and talk forward around what is the future of what we're doing here.
So I've just read the picture from ESP change.
I know, ESP. How the hell do you expect any progress when you're subliminally feeding us that humanity will destroy itself?
Look, I just work here. And I'm not even very good at that.
I missed it.
I'm the fritter guy. Leave me alone.
Sorry we lost Abdul. Victor, you haven't said anything in a while. How are you?
I'm fine. It's early morning in Nigeria. It's 5:40 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
Same here. Same here.
I've been up since 2 a.m. trying to catch up with people.
Gotcha.
Thank you for hanging out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the guy that bounces first. I got to do other stuff.
I was just gonna say that too.
Starting the cascade.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
It's a domino effect.
It's been beautiful, fellas.
Thank
I
you.
would say, before you leave, or I like the easiest way to close, I think, is like one word or phrase that captures you as you're leaving, and then let's everybody do that, and then
I'll do it first because I'm going to bounce first. Thank you for helping me learn stuff. I mean, really, I learned tonight a lot about just, about this type of stuff. So thanks. I'm gone. Peace.
All right, brother. See ya.
My whole theme of the show is smoking the hopium.
Right on, man.
Who's going next? Who's got something clever to say next?
I
don't have anything.
I'll just go.
So I'm just gonna say, I am inspired at the conversation and what this group of simulcasters was able to pull off for this episode. And then for you guys to come on was great. It was awesome to hear. And from everyone who was here, we got different aspects of what we all say, the bigger Steem ecosystem. So it's cool.
I guess my one word would be grateful. I just want to say thank you to you guys for tuning in. I know a lot of you guys, it's definitely after hours, so I appreciate you all taking the time to be with us tonight.
Yeah, that's fucking dedication, man. But keep persevering, man. It's much appreciated. Seriously. Thank you.
I'm getting a lot of good reviews. Everybody loved the show.
Awesome.
A lot of people were there for the duration too.
I would like to say it's 5:40 in the morning here as well, but I mean, who could miss that conversation, guys? I really appreciate the conversation, the two-way conversation for me as well. I know I said a lot, I've got a lot to say, but it's nice to hear what you guys have got to say as well. Always learning, always keeping it up. And the thing I want to say to you guys is that this type of place is so damn important, right? Because you guys are bringing people together to discuss this stuff. And it's, what were you saying earlier? It was like 350 people that were watching? Something like that, or 500 people? I can't remember the number you quoted.
Oh, over 100 at least.
Over 100, yeah. 150 or something, was it? Look, that on the Steem blockchain it's a sizable amount of people. Yeah, if you consider that most people are sleeping, and it's sort of, what is it, mid of the afternoon in the USA or whatever it is there. Maybe it's midnight now.
It's midnight.
Yeah, but But you know, like that's 150 people is pretty amazing, you know, and those people are awesome for saying and listening and paying attention to this, because it's really, really important stuff. And I think that in groups like this, you guys are going to end up being the kind of melting pots of this type of discussion, and then end up forming the way things move forward. So it's early days for you guys yet, but I think there's massive things to come from your team and your group, and I'm really looking forward to see what happens. So great stuff, and thanks for the opportunity to talk.
Matt, we're going to be in touch, buddy.
All right, man.
Thanks for the future clip, man. I like that.
Yeah, and have fun at Token Fest.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yes.
We'll do. It's going to be
have
brilliant.
A safe trip. If you ever get out there, call and on the plane.
I guess I'm not taught. Okay, on behalf of Air Clinic, thanks for hosting us. Stay healthy, guys. When is the next show? I would like to be on.
We do Tuesday nights at this time, 9:30 Eastern. I am not sure.
So Wednesday morning for him, whatever time we started would be that time next week. Yep.
Okay, so I'll try and hook up.
Sweet. Yeah.
Book your tickets now.
Yeah.
That'd be great, and we'll have Patrick send you the information.
Okay, you can send it to me on Discord. My Discord name is @AntigenX. @AntigenX. Yeah, you can see it on the screen.
Perfect.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks,
So,
Spencer.
bye, guys.
Bye.
See you next time, guys. Good luck with the project, man.
Okay.
So, are you guys continuing, or are you calling it quits now?
Out.
Yep,
I'm out.
We're out. Did
Okay.
Sean go?
I'm right here, my friend.
No, I mean, did you get to say your thing?
Oh, I don't think so. What was it?
Damn.
All right,
It was
guys. Well,
so let's go with potential, because I just see it everywhere on the blockchain and in these guys. So yeah, we're going places.
No doubt.
Matt, you look like you still want to talk, man.
I do, but I've also got a plane to catch in about 4 or 5 hours, and I need to start packing.
we're gonna have to close the room. Like, we're gonna have to close
all
the
the way
room.
over.
You're gonna have to close the room.
They'll be like, oh, all right.
Get one of those little neck things so you can sleep in the plane.
Yeah. I won't need one, man. I'm going to be out like a light. I've got a contractor review as well. We've got this hedge fund that's they want to do this ICO review machine, and they want to put about 200 grand's worth, 300 grand's worth of Steem in, and then also invest based off it. So it's going to provide a lot of opportunities on the Steem blockchain for people to review ICOs. And we're at the final stage of contracts on that. So we're about to sign and get that moving. So I really should have been doing that, but this was way more fun.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I appreciate that. One other thing, I do want to keep talking. I look forward to speaking to you separately, Eric. Give me 4 or 5 days, and then we'll be in touch. And Sean, and also Anti-Jenks. What was it, Kevin?
Victor.
Yeah, Victor. Please bear with us, because there's going to be opportunities for content creators, right? There's going to be several of our clients who are either going to want to commission specific works on specific platforms, not necessarily Steemit, or just in getting involved in the general tasks on the Steem blockchain as well. So there's going to be opportunities coming up, and people like you who are professional writers already, we need to be in touch with you, because that's how we bring value into the blockchain. So we look forward to building those relationships going forwards.
Definitely. Thanks again.
Thank you.
We'll see you around.
Thanks, guys.
Beautiful.
All right.
Cheers, guys.
So that was SMTs, guys. We had Andrarchy. We had Starkers from Oracle D. We had Victor from Air Clinic. And we had Abdul from DLike. That was awesome. So we'll see you guys next week. We're doing best practices of live streaming. So if you are listening and you're a live streamer, just hit us up on the DLive 24-hour Discord under the Steeming Pile chat, and we'll get you on the show.
So just to recap, you had established people that you already spoke to that agreed to it?
Yes.
Is that what you went over? Could you go over those names again real quick?
Charen's coming from Vim TV.
Okay.
Indy 8 Fish is going to come on. and then I just put a thing out to DLive 24 Hour. I knew you were going to be here, so whoever from there that wanted to come in, whether it's Vector, Callie, you know, anyone that is currently on the schedule to come.
That'd
in
be great if we
share,
could get Callie on. Callie, Vector, Brooke.
Stuff.
I mean,
Yep,
all the.
Brooke. Yep.
I wanted to mention before we go too that I know because you were speaking on this earlier, Eric, that doing reviews, that now that they're done with the IRL contest, now they're doing one for reviews, people that are do reviews live. So I mean, we can go ahead and start doing that too as part of the contest. I don't know where it ends, but if next episode happens to be in that and we start doing it, or if you start doing it individually, make sure to look into that, and maybe you'll be the next winner. We'll all start getting our own titles and we'll just clear it out.
Speaking of which, one thing we did talk about doing tonight, but we didn't get the time to do, is if you've not, be sure to claim your hunt tokens on the Steam Hunt platform. That ends tomorrow, I believe, or maybe today now.
I got one finally.
It seriously ends today?
Yeah, I think so.
No, let's just write that one down.
Go on it right now.
By the way, I just want to say that was the fastest 45 minutes of my life, fellas. That was.
Yeah, right.
That's usually the way it works.
That's fly. Good stuff, man. All right, gentlemen, I'm out of here.
Thank you.
Good
See
night,
you guys.
everyone. See you next week.
Good night,
All right.
everyone.
Good night.
Cheers. Andrarchy, you're still on. Oh my god.
No, I came back. I came back to say goodnight.
Oh, right on. All right.
Later, guys.
Rashi, thank you so much for all the work tonight.
Yeah, I'll get this to you guys. I'll send it.
Steeming Pile. Steeming Pile. Steeming Pile. Steeming Pile. Steeming Pile. Steeming Pile. See you next Tuesday on Steeming Pile. Steeming Pile.
When it is over, right after the hangover. Make posts, that's all I know. Re-steam like mold. I'm steaming. Steeming. Crypto, that's how we roll. Power up, get mold. I'm steaming. Steeming. That's right, I said it, get paid, I meant it. There's some money in your post if it's all authentic. There's some real life people, not some funny algorithm. Keep the fakes on the way. We don't play the plagiarism. Down vote, down vote.
By Rest 100 and 5-Star Entertainment Group. Make sure you go check that out. It's called the official Steemit Anthem by Rest 100. See you guys next week doing best practices of live streaming. If you're a live streamer, jump on the pile, and we will see you next Tuesday.
We are trending at the top 5-star entertainment group. What I represent.